all our friends, and they can have my things when we're dead. But we gonna live forever. We gonna live forever.
Yeah, it's your favorite boys.
It's your favorite boys in the morning.
Friday. You already know what it is.
Drive Time Boys.
If you're going to be in San Diego this weekend, you're going to want to check me up at American Comedy Co. Just find out what my hotel room is. Come, Egged, play Nicky Nine Doors.
Said like a true American, right?
Yeah, true American. And also, I just want to say, this is something that you're having a good day or whatever, right? And then maybe you think something from the past is, you might remember this deep in your brain, but I'm just going about my day. Out of nowhere, I put my headphones on. Boom, U2, full blast.
I saw you posted that.
Yeah, I've honest to God cannot believe in 2022
The U2 still making music.
that U2 is still getting force fed onto my iPod. My iPod.
Your iPod. How did it get on there?
Well, I remember like 8 years ago.
Do you think maybe your Tulpa did it?
my
Ryan's Tulpa loves U2. A Sunday. I see him fucking walking down the street. I go, he's singing U2. I go,
that wasn't me. Well, yeah. That's what happened. My Tulpa went crazy last night.
Big Bono head.
I just wake up. There's all these videos of me. Whoa, the sweetest thing.
Just fucking in the subway, just singing.
That's so funny. I'm telling everyone. I'm like, can you believe U2's on her phone still? They go, they stopped doing that 4 years ago. I go, what?
Well, that's the thing. Did you confirm that they are doing it?
It's in my. How else would it get there? I bought a new phone 4 months ago.
We cover this very frequently.
What did we cover frequently?
The Tulpas. Maybe you have a Tulpa. You don't know
Well,
about
that's
it.
what
Maybe we've read one of your posts, and Ryan's like, who is this joker?
Well, actually, in a little bit, we have a fucking a thing that's a new version of a Tulpa before we talk about it. And we have Revenge in the Sis coming in the studio a little later on. But this is, I would say, I honestly hate you. I'm South Park made fun of U2 and they did a pretty good job with making fun of Bono or whatever that helped people hate him or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think one of the reasons that worked is because people are already
the biggest piece of shit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And people are already pretty fed up with them because of that. The only thing I can think of comparable where everyone just hated was Lars Ulrich with his fucking Napster shit.
Yeah. Where everybody's like, this is the sickest thing ever. And he's like, excuse me, my royalties.
yeah. Especially when he was like, yeah, exactly.
When you guys
real
are
rich.
so rich.
My royalties.
It's not fair.
That's exactly what it was.
Taking away my royalties.
But U2, fucking, I guess it's Steve Jobs. He made a deal with.
They got something on somebody that they got this going on.
This is like an Epstein job.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't believe it. I thought it was like, remember back in the day when they used to put U2 on your phone?
Yeah. Well, they did that the one time where they released the iPod with it.
They never stopped. They've been doing it slowly. It's kind of like...
But you listen... But I thought you have Spotify.
It's like the government when you're just like, yeah, they tax you once a year and you're like, yeah, and then when you buy stuff...
Yeah.
And then when you buy...
Taxation is theft.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. U2, I think they're everywhere. It's
not on Spotify, though.
I honestly feel like you're going to be at a club and the DJ's like, whoa, this week's like, what the fuck was that?
You know what, actually?
He squeezed it onto his turntables. They get it everywhere.
Because I have an iPhone as well, and sometimes, like when you just when you do the swipe down and then you can press play, but it doesn't, it defaults as iTunes, even though I use Spotify. So then it just plays like, I have 10 albums I bought 15 years ago. Yeah. And it'll just play a song and I go, I don't want to listen to any of these. But that's so, yeah. But anyways, that's what they're doing. They're just sneaking in.
Never happened to me, and then it happened to me twice. So if you're listening at Apple, man, if you keep it up, Apple, I might only buy like a 3 Max a year.
Someone who listens to the Boyscast is gonna bump into Ryan at like fucking U2 at City Field, and Ryan's like, what the fuck is this? Where am I?
What the hell?
What the hell?
Well, no,
fucking Bono.
Well, no, another weird thing that happened is I honestly feel like I was seeing things, but I was walking down the street. And in a fire truck, a bunch of fire bros, you know what I mean? like the tattooed up ones kind of thing, right? Guy's hacking a dart in the fire truck.
I think, that's not...
Is that normal?
Dude, I've seen New York, the only place I've ever seen this, and I've seen this multiple times, cops smoking cigars. Like
Seems
on-duty
weird.
cops smoking cigars.
I think I might have seen that too.
Yeah, I've seen that like
They're
many
Tulpas.
times. It's the Tulpas. I always blame the Tulpa. But I've seen that a number of times where they're just like fucking leaning up against their car, full uniform, just smoking a cigar.
Well, it's definitely weird to see the guy in the fire trucks cracking darts like that. And he was like looking at me like, what, you got a fucking problem, pal?
Yeah, were you worried about fires?
You want to get the fire hose?
Is he fucking flicking at you?
Yeah. So that was the thing. And then also I made this Twitter video about disinformation, and then I got flagged on everywhere as disinformation, which is pretty funny. So everyone was trying to repost the video, and I was getting sent it from everyone. It was like, just so you know, this video is disinformation. And it was a video saying I'm stopping disinformation. So disinformation.
But were you stopping disinformation?
I was trying to stop disinformation, but I wasn't the one that gets to decide what disinformation is. They'll tell you what the fuck's disinformation, pal.
Yeah, they will.
Tell you, if I was the disinformation guy, I definitely would be cranking in a few of them. Like anyone who says I don't have a 12-inch or like anything
It's
like
a
that.
chick.
Well, the chick, you know what I mean? Anyone
But
who
her
says that girls
assistant.
aren't hilarious.
Her assistant will be a guy.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be. Someone says like girls aren't that funny, and it's going to be like, that's disinformation.
And then it's just like her at the Apollo getting like just fire set. And she goes,
just murdered.
Explain that.
Yeah. That's disinformation. She actually fucking destroyed. I was doing this video about comedy, and I was watching like old comedy specials, and one of the ones is when Dave Chappelle, I think it was, is playing the comedian in The Nutty Professor,
Fuck
doing
yeah,
the
dude.
women be shopping.
I don't have dreadlocks, but shitlocks.
He goes, women be shopping, women be shopping.
That's amazing.
I changed it to women be getting harassed. Women be getting harassed.
Oh, that's funny.
So Twitter basically, the FDA basically posted this thing saying
Fat Dick Association?
the fucking nice dick association, but fucking nice is one word.
Yeah.
So fat ass.
It's like how it's like they are in Scandinavia, Sweden or whatever. It's like
Fat ass.
Nice. They
basically posted being like Johnson & Johnson, they like retracted it saying it was something to do with blood clots or whatever, and then it was like from the FDA, and then Twitter fact checked it, so it had the disinformation guideline going, this is not true, the vaccine's safe, and it's like it was from Johnson & Johnson.
From Johnson & Johnson.
And
then I think Johnson & Johnson, I saw their explanation, they came out, they go, that was like we changed that. They go, they're
Right.
like, released, and then we changed it. You're like, but you did release it.
Exactly.
You're like, yes, but we changed it.
But how funny is that, them fact checking like the main guys?
Did you see Trump brought
That's what same thing happened to them as happened to me. I was trying to stop disinformation.
Did you see Trump at one of his rallies brought the fucking Johnson & Johnson CEO on?
And
he goes, this guy has so much money. He's got tons of money. He's rich as shit. And everybody's like, we hate this guy.
We gotta ask fucking
Trump.
Revenge of the Sis what they think about their boy doing that.
Big miss, Trump.
Oh my god, that's what it reminded me of, a comedian that goes on stage, and then you have this one. Actually, someone I was talking about on Twitter, and then someone said a better analogy than the one I originally had, which was Trump going on stage and then doing his vaccine stuff, and then getting all the Johnson & Johnson guys. Is a comedian that like has a joke he knows should work, but it's not working and won't let it go. You know what I mean? You're just like, I know this is funny.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I make audiences laugh at that?
You at the fucking the Hard Times tent. Remember where they're like, hey, you want to do a different show? And you go, no, I don't want to do a different show. I want to do this show. And then you get there and it's all just like trans people.
No, because it was, what's her name? Ray Butcher.
I know, but it was all like, the audience was all like trans people. And then you're like, well, I'm doing my act.
Yeah, so that was on me. No, because I was there doing stuff with the Hard Times. We made all these like videos for PBR and stuff. I'm telling them. But basically, they had a stand-up show, and one of the stand-up shows was like Ray Butcher, who's like
Riv Butcher.
She's
now.
trans now, right? And then so basically, like peak like 2016, like is right when things are like real fired up, right? And then Matt was like, "Hey, we're doing this one show for like this girl, and she's like this super feminist. So we were gonna switch you to the other show because like you may not be the perfect fit for her crowd." And I was like, "What? You don't think I can fucking do her crowd? Blah blah." And I was like, "I can fucking do any crowd, pal." Blah blah. And I didn't even know who she was at the time or whatever. And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'll be fine doing her crowd. Like I do fucking comedy 7 nights a week." And then I went up. I was not fine for her crowd. It wasn't like super awkward, but like, or it wasn't like the worst thing ever. But it was one of those things where
it was not your crowd.
you go on stage and you're just like, they're not only are they there to see like their favorite comedian in the world. I mean, it'd be someone who came to see
And
me.
didn't you have you did the joke where with the brother or whatever, like the gay people?
My brother's going to hell.
No, like you go any gay people. You have that.
I know every gay people in the
No,
audience.
but
and everyone goes, woo, yeah. And I go,
yeah.
so at least I guess I'm the only one going to heaven. I was doing all my. There was a few people in the back that liked it, but I did get a few.
Play it for the back of the room.
I did get
a comedian.
I did get a few people coming out to me being like, "Yo, comedy's hard. I don't know how you do it." And I was like, "Fuck you." I was like, "I usually do pretty good."
Yeah, you go, I'm transitioning right now from a male to a female back to a male, and honestly, comedy seems like way harder than that.
Yeah, they didn't like the set, but they're just like, I respect what you do up there, dude. It's like
takes some balls,
it takes
huh?
guts, yeah. That takes guts what you do up there. It's the worst comment to get.
I know.
Yeah, that was one of my lessons where I was like,
yeah, really just eating it with that grin on your face, huh?
it really
brave.
sucked. And I was with all my like friends who hadn't probably seen me do comedy that much, who I was there with all weekend and stuff like that. So that sucked. I learned a lesson about having an ego.
Exactly.
Oh, what? You think I can't do comedy in front of? I it's like, well, I probably didn't realize how crazy things had gotten at that moment. I'm like, it's people's people.
Yeah, and that was like in San Francisco, right?
yeah. And then you go people's people, and then you show up. You go, every single person's got like a clown hairdo, like fucking every person.
Side buzz, like
a life dedicated to destigmatizing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that didn't work out very good, but that's true. That's Trump doing his J&J stuff. And you are right. It was really funny, the fact that when he was doing it, he introduced them. He's like, because it's one of those things where imagine it was a bad intro too, right?
Terrible. Why did you think they would care about that?
Because right. So if you go on stage, there's things people would say that would make you hate you. Like right there, if they went to the Ray Butcher crowd. And then they brought me on stage. They're like, this guy's got a podcast just for dudes, blah, blah. You know they would hate that, right?
Of course.
So,
but the money thing, too.
That's actually what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The money thing. Dude, imagine getting brought up to like, this is the richest like corporate CEO you'll ever see.
Yeah, they're like, he's got so much money, it's fucking ridiculous. And you're like, and everybody's like, yeah, we know from the vaccine we hate. Also, they're like, we're out of work and we live in like, it was like in Oklahoma or something. And they're like, I can't afford eggs. Why are you bringing this guy on?
This guy right here. He's got money like you wouldn't believe. We call him the swamp. He literally is the swamp that they're talking about draining, basically.
Yeah,
Some guy on Patreon sent me this pretty funny thing because he lives in Canada. He goes, you guys are the absolute goats, favorite comedians by a long shot. Hilarious thing coming out of University of Victoria. We have to do a consent workshop, like just for going there or whatever. They make them do all this kind of stuff. And he says at the consent workshop, they encourage that you should do a land acknowledgement before asking for the consent. So he's saying in the actual like University of Victoria thing.
Consent, like sexual consent?
Sexual consent.
Real fucking boner killer, huh? Do both people do land acknowledgements? You do yours first and go, can I just use yours?
Yeah, is that cool if I copy?
No.
I think if you join hands, then you do it like you're praying at a fucking crappy dinner family thing.
Okay. And just do your land acknowledgement.
Isn't that great? So you have to basically she goes to like grab for your dick. You go, I want to acknowledge the Iroquois tribe and I want to know
that we're on unceded lands.
Yeah.
And, all this stuff, and then
you have to ask for consent.
And then he goes, "You want to smash?" And he goes, "No." And you go, "That's when you get the no after the land." Because there's so many guys who are like, guys are just dogs, and they'll just be
no.
Like, I'll do that bullshit. Like I'll do the land acknowledgement. If and then they have to do it, and then
not smash.
Still no.
That's the thing. You go. The girl knows once the land acknowledgement's coming, she knows what comes next. You know what I mean? Once you set that up. Once you set the precedent that, once you start that land acknowledgement, things are going down.
It's the equivalent of the fucking wah-wah pedal. Oh, damn.
Yeah. Wow.
Breaking out the land acknowledgement.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's sort of, you're sitting on the bed, you turn the TV off, and you just sort of, you grab her arm and you go, I want to recognize the Iroquois tribe.
That fucking bomb-ass pussy is sitting on unceded lands of the Iroquois tribes.
Girl, that nice ass fucking sniz of yours that I just can't wait to get into. But I just want to acknowledge the fact that I have no right to get into that.
Baby, I'm going to rail you on this Métis inhabited land that we have stolen.
This is stolen land from the Iroquois tribe, just like I'm about to steal that ain't a virginity, baby. Get down. We are benefiting from the fruits of that land, but my favorite fruit is the cherry that I'm about to pop. Ladies, ladies, may I proceed? There you go.
Now.
Permission to proceed.
She goes, just let me do my land acknowledgement and then we can do it.
Yeah, so that's the girls knowing the land acknowledgement.
You think that's going to make it into fucking Canadian porn?
Ooh.
You think there'll be like Canadian porn?
Canada's
you know how there's that genre of porn that's funny porn?
Uh-huh.
That would be great if there's like funny kind of based Canadian porn.
I think Canada is probably a step away from having, like government subsidized porn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then the guy has to come in with, he's hacking a dart kind of thing.
CanCon?
Yeah, he's got the beer hat on. It's CanCon porn, exactly, because they have to pay to make Canadian content. But so we did this, we've been talking about the Tulpa thing, right? But so that's the new school version, right? The old school version was multiple
Mental
personalities.
illness.
Well, yeah, mental illness, but multiple personalities, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of things that are mental illness that's, they've found out a way that make it like brave or whatever, right?
Like being a Democrat?
Oh, yeah, that would have killed in fucking Texas.
Smash
Dude.
that fucking the Trump rally. That's what he should have done.
That's what he should have said, yeah. What he should have done is he trashed the other guys first. He goes, those crooks over at Pfizer, and everyone goes, woo! Those crooks over at what's the other one? No.
Moderna.
The crooks over at Moderna. Those people are crooks stealing your money. That's why I brought the Johnson & Johnson guy, the only non-crook.
Yeah, and people go. And he's probably like, well, they make lots of other stuff you like. What, you guys don't like baby formula?
He goes, these motherfuckers are trying to make you get 2 vaccines. 2 vaccines, sometimes 3 vaccines. But you know who only wants you to get 1 vaccine?
Yeah, which turns out to be the one that's like, you shouldn't take. It's like, it's all coming out now too. We go, oh yeah, the 1 vaccine one, that's actually the worst one.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to want to avoid that.
So this was on Quora. Someone was saying, what's it like? So this is the old school multiple personalities, right?
Yeah.
And it's real good stuff over here. So it's a lot of people responding or whatever, but the main upvoted one or whatever, right? Because they ask questions there.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically someone was dealing with this himself, right? And they said, what was it like to have an alter? So they call their multiple personality an alter, who dated another person even though the host already had a romantic relationship. So basically, what's it like for what we've been saying with the Tulpa? What's it like if your fucking altar inside of you starts to wander a little bit, right? And then all these people that are involved in this community
and cheating,
they all the people
cheating, they go. This should be in the cheating category.
It's all the people in the cheating community.
This is this should be in cross post of infidelity.
That's so funny. Your chick being like, hey, I was on your computer, and why do you have bookmarked our infidelity?
I didn't bookmark it.
Yeah,
my alter did.
Alter.
He's got his own profile on Google Chrome.
My alter did. So all these people responded, but they're actually all these people basically explaining what it's like, and if it is difficult for them, they're having a hard time with this whole thing, right? So this is, and they call it multiplicity, is what the core thing is, right?
Oh, that's yeah. Multiplicity.
So I think the Tulpa people and the multiplicity people have a different thing, because the Tulpa people believe that there is a person living inside of them.
Yeah.
The multiplicity people think that one person takes it over, then the other person takes it over.
Yeah. Okay.
So they disappear into the nether realm. And
they're like they black out almost.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the Tulpa people we're coexisting. They have the coexist bumper sticker with 2 of the things are just them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So basically, this is what their experience is. What they said. I'm actually going through this right now. Funny that you mention it. And then he goes, with our main protector, Vitani. So that's why one of my main things is I liked about it is she's got a good name for her second personality, right?
Well, that's Vitani's name. She didn't make that up.
Well, she didn't make it up, I know. Yeah. And she also says her protector, right? So basically, kind of the idea
protects her from getting in trouble for cheating. Quite the protector.
Yeah. The also thing, I guess what the kind of scenario is she has this Vitani person, that's like in the nether realm or whatever. But if you bump her or something like this, she's like, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
it's basically like,
buddy, I'd take it easy on that.
It's a Hulk scenario.
It's a Hulk scenario, and then you go, Vitani's getting angry.
Vitani's getting upset.
Yeah, Vitani's getting upset. She doesn't like, so Vitani sort of takes over when she's wronged or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't do your land acknowledgement or something like that, Vitani takes
Before
over.
smashing.
Yeah, but she goes, so I, Shelby, I'm in a long-term relationship with my fiance. We've been together for nearly 6 years with no end in sight. However, Vitani has gotten really bored with me being in a stable relationship. I guess we all got a little Vitani inside of us, eh?
The way she phrases it, with no end in sight, sounds like you're a little bored with that too. It's not usually pumped about being in a relationship to go with no end in sight.
no end in sight's aggressive, right? But no, Vitani sort of took over for that one part of the sentence.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. But that is, so Vitani, so she's like, baby, I love you. You think I'm very happy. You couldn't be happier. Vitani on the other.
That's my.
I think, but that, you know what I mean? Every one of us has a little bit of, our own Vitani inside of us.
I'm a little bit Vitani.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit piece of shit.
I'm a little bit Shelby. I'm a little bit Vitani. So she's a little bit Shelby and she's a little bit Vitani, right?
Been there.
I'm a little bit Vitani. So she's having this, right? And Vitani wants to bone, right?
Yeah.
Baby, Vitani wants to bone.
Vitani's
But she's a
on
girl,
one.
so it's funner. I wish this was a guy because it's funner to do guy voices. But
Yeah, but,
so
but again, no guy can pull this off. It's just the.
a guy, yeah. A dude having the
Impossible.
absolute absurdity to be like, you think I'd love to just be just with you, but George, however,
George likes to smash. He likes to wet the whistle. Ain't no stopping George when he's on one, you know. So,
but Roberto's got a bit of a tongue for wandering, a bit of a strange fiend. Tommy boy inside me.
oh yeah, that was Tommy boy who shit on the floor.
I'm a traditional man. I would never do anything to hurt you, but Tommy boy just fucked your sister. But I will tell you, Tommy just banged your sister. So he said, especially since she told my partner that it was always her who he slept with for years and not actually me. So he's banging her, and then he goes, you've been banging Vitani the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Now that he knows, he has no interest in sleeping with her, and she's got Nancy.
That is such a guy thing too, because she probably kept like he knew she was Shelby, but then she kept being like, I'm Vitani, and he's just like, yeah, I just want to smash.
He basically
he heard it. And
yeah. But unfortunately though, that's what this guy said. She goes, we've been having sex all this time. Sometimes I switch in my other personality, but then one time during sex, she goes, I have a confession. I'm not Shelby. You've been banging Vitani this whole time.
Vitani was pretending.
Vitani was saying I'm Shelby. And then Vitani broke the news. He said, listen, you've been banging Vitani this whole time, right? And then the boyfriend said, what the fuck? So the boyfriend's like, no, I'm in love with Shelby.
She goes, you fucking, that's like next level psychotic girlfriend goes, you know, you've been fucking cheating on me? He goes, no, I haven't.
You banged Vitani.
You banged Vitani.
For starters.
She told me.
For starters, you banged Vitani.
I can't believe what you made her do.
Me and you haven't had sex in 2 years. He goes, what? You bone all the time. It's like, you fucking spend all your time with Vitani. You got none for me. So he basically goes, what my guess would be, like this multiple personality thing's obviously getting out of hand. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to have sex until you get this whole thing figured out. Because she goes, hey, you got to stop. You're fucking, just so you know, you've been having sex with my multiple personality. And he goes, okay, well, tell me, I guess, let me know when it's just you, and then we'll have sex when it's you. And then he goes, well, Vitani's not going to like that. So that's what he says, is that the partner's only been boning Vitani. And Vitani, who's a girl that was getting all this dick and now she's unhappy, by the way, maybe should have kept her fucking mouth shut, right? Vitani had a good thing going.
Vitani's making problems.
Right? If you're a guy that you transform into any body, and then you have this thing where you could transform into any guy's body and then bone the girl, would you ever tell any of the girls? Or you just, you keep that to yourself, right? Yeah, you go, all I have to do is go snap my fingers, transfer into any dude's body, and then bang his wife.
Yeah, it's like, 100%.
So Vitani should have kept her stupid mouth shut. She goes, so for a little over a year, Vitani has expressed her desire to be able to see someone on her own. My partner is fine with her talking to other people and sending pics as long as she saves everything. But he set the limitation at sex, and it seems like Vitani is respecting those boundaries. Man. So that is quite a good one, right? So basically, At this point, the boyfriend said, you're allowed to sext with, if Vitani wants to sex with other guys, but she doesn't want Vitani to be boning the other guys.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah. So this is where,
I guess when you really realize like, oh, I'm in a long-term relationship with someone who I didn't know was like completely batshit insane.
Mm-hmm. And so she's sending all these nudes to other people, but it's not her, it's Vitani. But this is where it gets weird.
This is where it gets weird.
Vitani appeared to be talking to quite a few different guys at once.
Vitani's a bit of a hoe.
Listen to this part. She goes, but I tried to stay out of it because it was Vitani's business. She doesn't want to get involved in what Vitani's a bit of a slut, right?
Yeah.
And then she goes, Vitani's been sending, she wakes up, Vitani's sending nudes of their body to everyone. But that's, what happens with she's not trying to slut shame Vitani, you know what I mean?
It's like if you have like a Siamese twin or whatever, and one of them has a date, and then you're getting dragged along.
Vitani's basically for the streets is kind of what they're saying, right? Then I started getting texts during the day from a guy who used to be decent friends with, but I ultimately blocked on everything because he was too weird for me. Turns out Vitani has taken a liking to him and is forcing me to interact with him regularly.
So fucking nerve to say that he was too weird for her as you're writing this. You go, that guy, weird. That's a weird guy. I had to block him.
This fucking so anyways, my alter ego has been unblocking this dude and talking to him. Now he wants to talk to me, but this guy's a weirdo. So she's stuck in conversations with this friggin' weirdo, right? It's basically you wake up and then you go, Vitani's been sending nudes to the plumber again, you know what I mean? Then you wake up and you go, there's the fucking garbage man smoking a cigarette beside you, and you go, what the hell? You go, what?
And she goes, free garbage service for the next year. He goes, it is free.
Yeah, basically. So every time she comes to, she's with texting a different guy. She's texting her son's kids' teachers, all this sort of thing, right? Every guy, she calls the guy to, her fight with her AT&T bill, blacks out, then she's banging that guy.
With him.
She's on a date with that guy. So Vitani's for the streets, right? And she goes, I've had tons of conversations with Vitani about setting this boundaries with this guy, but I don't get how, if it's a split personality, how her and Vitani get to talk. Does she leave notes for her?
I think, I don't know. That's a good question. I almost envision it like almost like a movie where they're like in a room together, but they're just in her brain, like sitting.
That's what I think, but that sounds like more like the Tulpa thing.
Yeah, there's some holes in this stuff. Yeah, Ryan.
But I think they might have to leave notes to each other, like in Groundhog Day,
or
sort
like
of
Memento
situation.
style, where she fucking writes it on her chest backwards.
I think that's what she has to do. Yeah.
And she wakes up and she has to go. Yeah.
And she goes, Vitani, hey, take it easy with all the dicks, sort of thing. Hey, Vitani, can we lay off? Is it fine if we just take it a bit easy? You're banging everybody. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Vitani's banging everybody. But sometimes he doesn't understand now, and he's actually really respectful. I've had to have conversations with Vitani, especially since the guy didn't quite understand in the beginning that it was Vitani and I are different people. So basically, the guy, she's like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but that wasn't me. You sending me these messages like, oh, someone's fucking with you. Yeah, Vitani. Yeah, and who's that? It's my ultimate personality.
He's just like, whatever. I'm just glad to smash.
Yeah, just happy to smash. Just doing my thing as long as we do the land acknowledgements first. So that's a tough convo to go to the guy that you've been sending nudes to and be like, hey, we got to stop sending nudes. I never meant to in the first place.
Yeah, and you'll be like, yeah, it's all good. Anyways, just I'll talk to Vitani later.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, because but again, you're like, it's like, I'm me, but then you're like, you might be hearing from Vitani, and you go, okay, cool, later.
Yeah, because you're right. She goes, just so you know, that wasn't sending him the nudes. It was like, who was it? My multiple personality. She's still interested in sending her nudes, but like, I'm not that interested.
Yeah, and he's also like, I like your multiple personality. I don't like you.
Yeah, I like the multiple personality better.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, this
win for him.
This is a conversation between me and Vitani. I don't even know why you're bringing this up.
Yeah, you think he's like, why don't you mind your fucking business, lady?
Yeah, this is none of your business. You have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we just part our separate ways? But he does understand now, and he's being respectful. So yeah, you go, okay, all right.
Imagine he's like, hey, quick question. Do you have an IUD? Just because Vitani said she does.
Yeah, exactly. Vitani said.
Wondering if you do.
Vitani's pro choice. But she's pro-life.
I just need to know.
That'd be bad. You have to. Yeah, she doesn't want to get an abortion, so she has to take 9 months to try not to transition. He seems like a different person around her, so he's nicer around Vitani. From the messages I've seen and read, he seems so sweet to her. He doesn't know the difference. He's really sweet when he's talking to her multiple personality.
Yeah, because she's not fucking mean like you.
He's not. Yeah, because you're a bitch, man. Vitani, you should just let Vitani take over the body. She's actually, everyone likes her. She's the belle of the ball. She's the belle of the ball. She's, a hit. You're just this,
She's probably struggling to
grumpy old guy
reconcile.
telling your fucking friends to not even have sex with anyone. And it's weird for me because I can't stand him. But nice to see her get to have that relationship with someone. So she can't stand this guy, but she's happy that Vitani can, even if I hate him.
And she can't stand him because he's so weird.
He's such a weirdo, you know
weird.
what I mean? But Vitani doesn't seem to discriminate as much as her about people. She weird shames him.
Yep.
Her one personality doesn't weird shame, but her other personality weird shames a bit. Ultimately, it's kind of weird having a part of me who's dating someone I don't like, but with good boundaries, I think it's more doable. Plus, I'm happy to see Vitani feeling happily. So yeah, you don't want Vitani unhappy, but hope this helps to answer your question. That's what she says. So that's even crazier than the Tulpa stuff, right? And then they go, the main front, this one person is just explained just a little bit. They go, oh, I've also experienced this. I was dating a man with another multiple system. His system's main frontier was married. This was all open, no secrets. The big problem was that she had a very jealous and possessive man. Someone else in my system started dating someone else from his system. So she's saying, she's calling the body a system.
Yeah.
So now she's saying she's dating, the two people are dating, and then their multiple personalities started dating each other.
It's like when twins date, you see that where two identical sets of twins get married?
So this is really off the reservation with these ones.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they say multiplicity, but it sounds, it's dissociative identity disorder.
What a fucking nutcase bunch, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I had a technique that I was thinking about that was kind of in the multiple personality realms for productivity. So isn't this a good thing? Okay, so I think a lot of people, they always, they're bad at like setting their own productivity boundaries. We're like, okay, I won't take phone calls from this time. I'm not going to work on this. I have to work on this. Like I can't respond to this kind of thing, right? But if you think of your brain, imagine you had a company and your brain was your employee. So imagine you go, I had an employee and I go, hey, I want you to do something really important for the next 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
And then you were sort of coming, and then someone else came up to you and they go, hey, I need to have a quick phone call with them. That you'd go, no, I'll have them call you back in 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you think of it like that, so everything you want yourself to do, you go, hey, I want to work on this for 2 hours. I need to get this done today. anything like that, how you would block off other things from getting to your employee, think of your own brain like that.
As an employee, yeah.
Or anyone who wanted to do anything. Also,
sounds like you might have you should be posting this in multiplicity. Right?
I think it's honestly a good way to think of it. That changes because everyone's more respectful to other people's times a lot of times than their own, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about that, treat it like, what if someone else was doing something really important and you were sort of and they were doing it for you, and then someone come in, they're like, hey, I just need to ask them a quick question. You go, hey, they'll get back to you in 2 hours. Like that's what you'd say to them, right?
Yeah.
So you treat it like that's what your own brain is. And same with making them do stuff. Like imagine you need parameters, like the same way that if you were telling someone to do something, you go, hey, I want some like graphic design done, or I want you to set up like a thing. You wouldn't just say, I don't know, figure it out. You would probably go, here are the parameters. Here's how much money you want to spend. Here's so the same reason or they'll do a crappy job and then you'll come back and have to. So with your own brain, you need to set your own parameters where you go, hey, here's the task I want you to do.
And what do you do? You speak to yourself in like a mirror kind of thing?
Well, you can write it down if you want. You could write down, sometimes you could write down your parameters, but you could also, some of the things you could turn your phone off but it's a lot of times like justifying it, where think about that's how your brain is really like this, like a machine that's working for you.
It's interesting.
So anyways, that's
a bit of a computer, if you will.
Yeah, something like that.
Treat your brain. You basically want to write software.
Treat your brain like a robot that's working for you. Something like that.
Can I bang the robot?
Yeah, you can.
Robot's jerking off again.
A robot would be jerking. Yeah, that's the thing. The robot every hour is like, yeah, you want to spank it?
Yeah, you want to crank one out?
You go, no, and you can't crank one out yet.
Come on. Let's crank one out.
Well, I'd love to crank.
Please crank.
Crank meter high. Cranking meter is high.
Crank it.
They had, you know how we did the article last week about the, so there was the guy that was mad that was, his son was into trucks or whatever.
Yeah.
There's this woman that's trying to raise her son as she goes, raising feminist sons seems easy. A daughter, much trickier. And it's this woman who's like, in Washington Post. And it's this woman who's like really mad that the opposite, where her daughter isn't, you know, she wanted to put makeup on and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and she was having oh my God. I saw,
well, there's a lot of that, I think.
Oh, yeah, you know, but it's funny just to see this complete opposite. You know what I mean? A dad's pissed off that his son wants to use trucks. A mom's pissed off that her son wants to put on lipstick. It's just like, and I saw like a funny, really funny couple memes coming out the other day. There was one that was, it said, women in, it said, women, you know, 1970, we want to be equal to men. Women, 2000, we don't need men. Women, 2022, we are men.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And there was another one that was like the evolution of women's private parts. And it basically had like, it was like 40 years ago, the girl had a big bush, and then 30 years ago, smaller bush. Then 20 years ago, like almost, then completely shaven. Then 10 years ago, it's a dick.
Those ladies, wacky.
The meme sphere was fucking bumping. But it just, I won't go through the whole article, but it was just making me laugh. Some of it, they go, you know, we knew it's easy to raise our boys as feminists, they said. They got a clunky but equitable surname and painted their toenails upon request. So it's easy to raise your boys. You just paint your toenails and give them a hyphenated name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're Henderson Rosenbaum.
Female name. What's better, female name first or last?
Did you see the couple that flipped the coin to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple that said they're going to flip a coin to figure it out. And she goes,
at the wedding?
At the wedding.
Would you, if you were doing that, would you get like
two-sided coin?
No. No, I would get like, if you had the money, like, because you know how people will hire like a big band? Like, would you get like an NFL ref?
I think they do.
Come in, like you go, like that's Ed Hockley. Like that guy's like one of the best refs of all
He knows
time.
how to do it.
He knows it, and that guy's flipped fucking 20 Super Bowl coins. This is cost us $50,000 to bring him in here.
I think you do have to, you know.
And he's dressed full ref outfit.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna. What's the other alternative? You bring out some guy that, you know, he flips the coin, fumbles it, botches it, drops it on the ground. Then what? You got problems. You need a professional.
It lands on its side perfectly, like just the one in a million.
He knows how to not do that. Yeah, I guess we're hyphenating. So this, you know, these people, it's modern solutions for modern problems, right? Yeah. And then says, as a feminist, I was good on theory, but mediocre in practice. I shied from conflict, craved approval, and blah, 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 blah. She goes on, right?
This is written by a woman.
Yeah, it is.
The blah, blah, blah part.
Blah, 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 blah. And yet every day I tried, every single day. I was on guard from the moment she was born. No Barbie dolls shall breach the perimeter. But as soon as she went to preschool, princesses started entering her consciousness.
Yep.
And worked their Disney magic. At age 3, she wanted to only wear dresses, so she's not allowed to wear her
literally,
overalls.
this is the exact same thing that happened with my niece. Like they were just like, we're not gonna, you know, we'll let her do her thing. My brother and sister-in-law, they're like, yeah, we'll just let her do whatever she wants. And then she very much gravitated towards
That's
it.
what
But
happened.
they weren't like upset about it. That's the difference. They're not like insane where they go like, oh, this is devastating.
Well,
They're just like,
we'll make you a compromise. You can wear the princess outfit, but you got to put a hard hat on. So that,
all right, here's the deal. You get to wear the princess outfit, but we're putting you on hormone blockers early, puberty blockers early.
That's sort of a compromise that we're all making. That's what Phil Lizzie had one of my favorite jokes. Remember in Toronto? He was like, you know, my friend was like, I don't want our daughter to have a princess-themed birthday party because I don't want her to grow up thinking all this nonsense like princesses are real. And he was like, princesses are real. Just for the record, princesses are real, and you can be a princess.
Yes,
it happens.
Yeah, it's
Angela Merkel.
Yeah, Angela Merkel.
What's her name?
Meghan Merkel.
Meghan Merkel. Who's Angela Merkel?
British
politician.
Chancellor of Germany.
Chancellor's fucking dorky name.
Former chancellor.
A chancellor.
I'm the chancellor.
Oh, that's the guy from Friends. Joey Chancellor.
Chancellor.
It was Joey, Phoebe, and Chancellor. So
probably have about the same odds of being a princess as being like the president. So it's like, you know, if you can shoot to be the president,
exactly,
you can aim to be a princess.
Exactly. So that's what they're saying to this girl: put your hard hat on, put your tool belt on. Here's your rugby. No, I guess rugby ball is still like can be feminine.
Rugby ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big
Women play rugby.
lesbian sport.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what you'd want. That's what you probably would give them a rugby ball. Like we're gonna give you a girl sport. You know what I mean? I made sure to praise her brains and not looks. I refrained from counting calories in her presence, and I stopped hugging her without permission. That's the other thing the mom said. She was like, you know, she put on weight and she felt bad about it. So she goes, you know, and I put on 50 pounds and I know I still feel bad about it and I wish I would lose weight because that's the patriarchy ingrained into my brain and all this stuff.
I hate that patriarchy.
But it's just funny, like putting on weight and being like, I'm getting a little fat, and you're just like, you need to this friggin'
It's like, idiot, you need to get fatter.
Yes, idiot.
No, get fatter.
Yeah, so I began to ask for her permission before hugging her. When she said no, I felt a woeful joy. So it was sort of a test, you know what I mean? She goes, hey, daughter, could I hug you? And then she goes, I'm not in the mood. She goes, that's my girl. That's my girl. No, that's my girl. You don't let anyone fucking hug you ever again. If you don't want to hug anyone. That
sounds like a fun household.
That was sort of a big one a few years ago, right? That was like a big one they were pushing, that it's a lot of young girls have to kiss relatives or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I wish which was nice for them to get to do that. Like, hey, you don't have to hug your grandfather anymore. Like, you're not obliged to do that. Whereas, like, we still have to fucking give a fucking smooch to some old bag when we're 8. You got some old bag slobbering on you with her dentures. We don't get the same treatment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're Italian, that's just everybody's kissing everybody.
Everyone's
It's
kissing
fucking
everyone.
Smooch city.
But with a girl, you get to be like, no, consent, grandpa, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas we walk
fucking rapist, grandpa.
Yeah, we have family gatherings. Grandma fucking struts in the door, kicks it down, farts. You know,
I love the idea of some guy
got her titties out. Give me a fucking kiss, little boy.
Some guy who fought in like World War II, and he's got to ask his like great granddaughter if it's okay for a hug. He's got to get proper consent.
Yeah. Well, they got that, but we didn't get to do it. So it was some bullshit.
Things are not fair.
No, I know. I just thought it was so funny the way that this girl was the exact opposite of
you
the
know
one.
she's going to end up being in like porn. Like she's going to rebel against this whole thing so hard.
Oh, yeah.
As kids do.
A lot of them that are going to
But then she'll be in porn and the mom will be like,
well, it goes one of two.
You are,
it goes one of two ways, and I think it's a fairly even split. That's what I was saying. That's the same as, you know, when you want your kid to be like the professional golfer and you force him like the Tiger Woods, right? Yeah, it's like one of them become like, you know, the best in the world. The other one hates golf.
Yeah.
That's what you never hear about.
Visceral reaction to seeing golf.
Well, you never hear about his brother, House Cat Woods, right? He doesn't.
You didn't want to go with the opposite of a tiger?
What's the opposite of a
Like
tiger?
a wolf or something?
Well, wolf could still be good at golf. I try to think of something pussy ass. What's the like Mouse Woods?
Pussy would have just done.
No, it'd be like House
Pussy Woods.
yeah.
Pussy Woods.
Well, that's right. They named their one kid Tiger Woods and their other kid Field Mouse Woods. So Field Mouse Woods went the other way.
Yeah, very meek.
That's what happens when you do that, right? And then the next thing this person said, okay, so that was that, right? And then there's one more thing before we'll bring on our guests, but because we went through the Hapas stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's these multiracial people, and so basically these people, their whole thing is they like they're half Asian, half
White.
Sort of Hawaiian. A lot of them.
I thought they were specifically the Hapas white Asian.
There's a lot of them that seem to be like half Hawaiian or something, because Hawaiians are sort of half Asians already.
I guess.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a version of it, right? But they're very like their whole thing is they're struggling with this in the new age of identity, right? So they have these crazy forums and stuff like that on it's like all half Asian people. And it's wild. I'll tell you two of the like craziest ones. So they said, basically it's on embracing, you know, the tradition without the experience of colonialism and inequality. That's what their title is, right?
Yep.
This is what this dude posted. So just imagine like being, you know, going to your fucking college, getting your brain all fried up to the point that you're posting this, right? He says, I'm deeply ashamed of my dating history and preferences. I'm half Asian male, 25 years old. What I'm ashamed of the most is I've dated mainly Asian women.
Disgusting.
Like, right. And you go, what's wrong with dating Asian women? You probably like Asian women. He goes, well, you might think that, but I will continue. I advocate against Asian women fetishization in all ways. Yet I feel as a white passing Asian American, I'm taking part in the subjugation of the same people I advocate for. So he's mad.
This is literally woke versus racist, where it's like, you're like, races shouldn't mix. And you go, yeah, okay. This is literally, you're saying races shouldn't mix.
And he's half Asian.
And he's half Asian. He goes, that was a mistake. Races should not mix.
Have you ever seen the thing where the Seinfeld episode where they have the cookies, the white and the black, and then they are bad in his stomach? That's what's happening in his body. His white side is like, give me that fucking give me that yellow pussy. Like his Asian, his white side's like a huge, and his
battle.
His like Asian side's wearing like the hat and the stuff like that, like in the field in his body, and he's like, you stay away from our woman, whitey.
I mean, the white parent probably.
You white devil. You stay away from our women, white devil.
Like he probably does like call his fucking like gives his white parent like kind of a hard time, I bet.
Well, because his dad, he doesn't want to be like his dad who was banging Asian women, right?
Who's like fetishizing them.
Right, because his white dad's going to him. He's bringing an Asian daughter home back to family gatherings, and the dad's like, Asian women are sick, right?
Yeah, he goes, Dad.
Someone else got the fever, huh?
Hey.
I got the fever.
Yeah.
So he goes to his dad, and his dad's sort of this white bro that was, finance bro banging Asian chicks.
Or just a Jewish guy.
A Jewish guy, yeah. Jewish guys
so
love
many
Asian
friends
girls. Why do Jewish guys love Asian girls so much?
I think
And vice versa.
because culturally it's very similar.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah, maybe true.
and then doesn't remind you of your family.
No, so it's like
a bit of the best of both
It's
worlds.
basically like dating your mom that doesn't look like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
But like culturally, in terms of like the caring about, education, all that stuff is very similar.
Very into I got the fever. I got the fever. So he's having a complete internal battle, right? And it's like their brains are fried, right? And he goes, I maintain that it's simply who I find attractive, and so therefore I date them. So he's got his alibi.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Okay.
Fucking sure, bud.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, what, so we're just all dating people we find attractive?
Nine
All right.
9 Asians in a row.
Yeah.
We're buying that. He's real mad, right? And he goes, of course, I'm never explicitly looking at Asian American women under a specialized lens. That's just who I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, again, like the birds of a feather, you probably have a pretty big group of friends who are Asian.
Yeah.
Like there's a big, you probably just have a lot of, so then you date who's in your group.
Well, also, he's sort of saying, hey, listen, I don't want these white guys out here banging Asians. The way I do it's fine.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of, he's found a way to try to justify his internal strife.
As they do.
But yeah, it's kind of, like a black guy that only dates women. It's like, I'm fine, but like, look at all, look at these people. I mean, my wife's white, but like, look at all these people fetishize, like white guys that date black women kind of thing. Yeah.
For
Clunky.
thee, but not, yeah.
With all this in mind, I'm still deeply ashamed. So he basically sitting there, smoking the cigarette after sex, and he's just like, get the fuck out. What have I done? And then he goes,
She goes, I'm going to go whip up a bowl of rice. He goes, oh, God.
I've done it again. Oops.
You want to go for ramen?
Again.
Get out.
Get the fuck out. I'm a monster. Yeah, he tries to go to, he's trying to just force feed himself with his eyes open, looking at like Indian chick porn. What do they call that? Desi porn?
Desi porn, yeah.
Yeah, he's just got his eyes up. He's just like it.
Like it.
Yeah, but he can't.
Fucking
I can't.
tapping at his dick.
But I
Get
must.
hard.
Yeah.
Get hard.
He's flicking it.
Bigot.
Yeah, he's flicking his dick.
Come on.
Come on, dude. Get hard. Get the fuck hard. Yeah, yeah, come on, grow, baby. Grow, baby. There you go.
Grow, baby, grow. Grow, baby, grow.
Grow. You got the grow in you. You got the grow in you. One single tear comes by. Yeah. You could do it. Look at those big white titties. Come on, look at those big white titties. He's motorboating them. Yeah, he's plugging his nose.
Tastes like bleach.
It tastes like white bread. I can't do it anymore. He's like, comes running up to an Asian girl. He's like, I'm back. I can't do it. And she's like, who are you? And he's like, oh, right. I still do.
I will say, though, for someone, he's 25 years old. You got to think he's been getting force fed all this shit about all the self-hate stuff being
That's
like,
what
pretty,
I'm saying. 25.
pretty cool
yeah.
for like a good chunk of his developed life.
It's interesting, right?
So that's like kind of makes you kind of reasonable to think people are like that.
Well, this is what it does to people. It puts them in a bind where they, have all this internal strife of, they're basically like, it's bad being white, but it's worse being Asian, but you don't even get to do that, but also you're Asian. Like, you can see why this shit would leave
Asian,
them all
but
confused.
the problem is just like the Asian.
No, according to the ideology they're being force-fed.
Well, it's just like the Asian in him doesn't like the Asians. It's the white in him that likes the Asians. That's the
But
problem.
the Asian in him is sort of like, he doesn't like that he has a half colonizer, you know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
With this in mind, I'm still deeply ashamed. I honestly wish I wasn't attracted to them. So, this is the most craziest part. Yeah. He goes, I wish that I didn't have to be attracted to these fucking, ugh. Like like an old slave owner. that fucking,
it's like Monsters Ball or something.
Right. Like, ugh. You think I want to fucking have sex with these Asians?
Oh.
These sweet, delicious Asians? I have to. My racism is forcing me to do it. I wasn't attracted to them, and I wish I wasn't attracted to them because I hate myself for both the association and the thought that I have a racially prejudiced dating. So he's basically a slave to the Asian sniz.
Yeah. I like this point. He goes, it's gotten to the point where my friends see me as the guy who dates Asians, which is what I view as an embarrassing, creepy moniker. He goes to China. He goes, you guys are fucking creeps.
Creeps.
Fucking creeps.
That was the one that we were reading the other day where
Yeah.
basically it was someone, they're just like, these men that just won't stop banging Asian women. And you're just like, where do you live? Shanghai. You go, what the fuck? You go, yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
I think that'll happen, my friend. So that's what's going on with that.
It's tough out here.
But we got Revenge of the Sis here. They're coming into the studio. Let's bring the fellas in. Oh, these guys, you should have seen them yesterday because their whole thing is like comics won't, trash other comics. They're at the stand. They'll be like, hey,
hello,
you recognize
hi,
this
sir.
girl from like the Girls Rule Men Drool podcast? And they're all, oh, hello, nice to meet you.
I love women.
Women are the best. What are you talking about, dude?
No, because you guys, you're very like comics need to talk shit about comics more, right?
Well, not need to. No, that's not need
but
to.
you were there last night at the stand.
But what I mean is this. But it's funny. But what I mean is this is like there's a lot of like dudes who hate each other that go, no, they're great. They're so good. They're so awesome. And then
genius.
2 minutes later, like fucking guy's a fucking.
Oh, that's
asshole.
that's comedy.
But wouldn't that also
guy.
be like any workplace?
I
Do you know
mean,
what
I
I mean?
guess.
Would you be like, you're like, fuck, that guy in accounting is pretty crappy. You're like, why don't you post that on Facebook if you're such a
why don't you
man?
go say it to his face in the break room?
What do you
go,
think? What do you think I'm a podcaster? That's the problem, man.
Yeah, you're like, well, everyone does talk shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one comic that, I don't know, did you guys see this? In the last hour, it broke Andy Dick.
Yes, we were just talking about it.
Talking about that.
Yep. Yeah, that was bound to happen.
So what happened? If you got the scoop more than we do?
Yeah, so he got arrested for allegedly molesting a IP2 live streamer by the name of JJ.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I cover IP2 all the time.
What's
and
IP2?
Yeah,
it's like all right, so remember Ice Poseidon? Remember
Water Sports Channel?
So there's this guy, Ice Poseidon, he started a whole network, and then half his audience decided they hated him, and they started their own network. They just have all these like drugged out, like crazy people, like street kids that like rent RVs and go out and stream live, and it's very
Baked Alaska? Is that where he got his idea for the
he's
from?
part of it loosely.
That's a streaming you were saying that like basically all the fans are just like, get arrested.
Yeah, and that's pretty much
We'll give
it.
you $10 if you get arrested.
But the problem
It's
is
a weird
that
subculture.
Andy Dick already did this live on camera on a stream before this to another male streamer. And like,
what did he do? Like grab his dick or
like was
something?
grabbing his dick while he was asleep. Like tried to turn off one stream, not knowing there was another stream going. Like,
yeah,
it
it's
was a whole
different with
mess.
a bit different with a guy.
But no, it's both guys. This is both guy situations. Yeah, it's Andy Dick. I don't know if you've ever heard he's a famous homosexual.
Yeah, he like.
So yeah, it's they kept him on that RV. Even though he'd already done it once.
You can't grab any more dicks. We've all been there, right? You
And then they kept like
You get one. You get one.
And they've been
We're
milking
gonna let
him.
you have one dick grab, and that's it.
And they're milking him because he's super famous. So of course they're like, well, we're going to keep Andy Dick on. But
Right.
they left him on
He
after
was
that.
super famous.
And now he's done it to somebody else. So it's like, I don't
And
know.
they already gave him his warning. They're like, listen, you.
I feel like you should probably take a couple days off the RV when you do that, right?
But then he also lives in that RV, so where's he supposed to go? Does he live in that
No,
RV?
back to Hollywood or whatever.
I have
I mean, I'm assuming Andy Dick has money, right? Some
Fuck
sort
no.
of money.
He's
really?
Is he really broke? I
You
don't
think
know.
he's doing this shit because he has money?
No, I think he's doing this because he's horny.
I'm sure he's.
Oh, I thought this is just like where his career
No,
is
no.
at.
No, I
where he's
mean,
a fucking
That
RV
might be
streamer.
true, but he still has money.
Maybe
No,
he's an
I
RV
think
streamer.
I think he has money. I think what
must
it
be
is,
getting,
it's
news
attention.
radio royalties.
He still wants to be in some sort of fandom, right?
I agree with that.
You don't want you see all these other people that came up with him like on TV shows now and on Law and Order episodes, and he's in an RV. But he needs attention. I mean, I think that's what it is.
Think about it. There was a time on news radio, Andy Dick was bigger than Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And boy, have they crossed paths.
Right.
Like now Joe
Why
Rogan's
can't
like
he just
literally
have a
God.
He went
and Andy
from-
Dick's just
he went
this
to
fucking
streaming.
coked out guy getting
Lowest
beat up.
of the low.
This coked up dude getting beat up by John Lovitz
like-
and like molesting IRL streamers in an RV.
Why couldn't Andy Dick just have a podcast? Like go do a YouTube podcast?
I'm sure he's
like,
tried.
go-
He's like a
He's
you
just
know,
too
a
crazy.
party
Yeah,
mess,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He's
Well,
just
I know someone in LA that told me like not to say their name or whatever, but they basically are
Jay
just,
Moore. It was Jay
yeah,
Moore.
it was Jay. It was Jay Moore. Wanda Sykes. So basically, Andy Dick, they had a party, and then Andy Dick showed up at the party, and it was very like, oh, who invited Andy Dick? And like he just heard like there's a party, right?
It's high school shit.
Yeah. He shows up to like Hollywood parties on like I'm just a guy from a different school. I read the Facebook invite, right? One of my burner accounts got the invite.
Shows up to the fucking Met Gala and it's just, hey, what's up, guys?
You didn't do your privacy setting right, when
Right.
you made the party invitation. So
And he, so everyone left, and the people thought it was cool that he was there for the most part, right? But then at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., people are doing rails and stuff. At one point, it's just the two guys and Andy Dick, and these guys are like 20, right? Andy Dick's like 55 or whatever, how old he is, right? And then he won't leave. But then they kind of thought it was cool. They're like, fuck it, we'll do an all-nighter. So they do an all-nighter with Andy Dick. He goes to sleep at 4 p.m. the next day. They wakes up at 9 or 10, and he was like, yo, well, let's call the guy. Let's get it going. And they're just like, I mean, you've been here for fucking 35 hours.
And he immediately took charge.
He wouldn't leave. It was like, I think he thought he was on some Bill Murray kind of thing, right?
No, but I mean, I think that's the problem though with him. Like, I think it's like,
well, that and
dude, he had an MTV show. People forget Andy Dick had an MTV show.
Yeah.
The Andy Dick show got like a couple seasons, and so he was for a while there. He was, people knew who he was, and then all of a sudden, because he's fucking weird with everything he does, people nobody wants him around.
Yeah, probably
I
just people
think it's
don't wanna work
also
with him.
the dozens of alleged incidents of violence and sexual
That too.
assaults.
Or anybody who's a huge Phil Hartman fan probably doesn't like him. So there's those
Right.
Dude, he honestly
He
has
fist
a
fought John Lovitz. Like, that's crazy to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
John
he got
Lovitz.
beat
No,
up by
John
John
Lovitz
Lovitz twice.
kicked his ass. That's
I
a real
thought you
thing.
said fist fucked.
No, fist
So did
fight.
I.
Fist
Yeah, I
fight.
heard-
smashed his head
I'm
on
like,
the
these
bar.
guys are, what is
Yeah, I
John
go,
Lovitz,
John-
a jackass?
Yeah, I wanted to go John Lovitz.
Yeah,
John
they
Lovitz.
were trying to do a jackass competitor.
It was on an episode of The Critic, if I remember correctly.
It stinks. Yeah, Steve-O, Knoxville, Bam, Lovitz.
Lovitz.
They got the whole gang together.
But yeah, you didn't know that. Like, all right, so the story was that Andy Dick was the one that reintroduced Phil Hartman's wife to like drugs.
Yeah.
And then she went crazy and killed Phil
He's
Hartman.
a big drug guy.
And then like Andy Dick was talking shit about it, and it got back to John Lovitz. And
What did he
John
say?
Lovitz-
She can't handle her coke. Like,
No, he said something like, he put the, he went to John Lovitz and said like, I put the Phil Hartman curse on you or something.
Yes, because he was
Like,
hammered and he was being a real dick, right? And Lovitz found him.
smashed his head on the bar like several times.
mean drunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lovitz smashed Andy Dick's head.
Yes,
on the bar?
Lovitz kicked Andy Dick's ass.
Oh, love it.
No,
Yeah.
Lovitz is a Chad, man.
Yeah, he really
I love
is.
John
He
Lovitz.
really is.
Dude, that's crazy.
What, saying that's the ticket, his catchphrase while he's there.
That's the ticket.
That's the ticket.
Another one that died. You guys know
Yeah,
Kevin Samuels, right?
of course.
Dude,
Of
oh
course.
man, R.I.P.
Do you like
King.
him?
R.I.P.
Yeah,
King.
he's awesome.
I never
I
really
loved his
watched his like stuff, but I guess everyone's sort of melting down, like because they hated him, right?
Oh, they really hate it.
People that
Well,
do you not know Kevin Samuels?
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
Women specifically hated him.
Black women didn't like
Yeah.
him.
The world
no.
lost a treasure. Like, that man is a national treasure.
Yeah, he
R.I.P.
was like, well, I thought there was the one thing everyone was basically saying, because all the girls were like, good that he's dead, all this stuff,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah, of course. And it was like, Yo, fine, make fun of people when they're dead, but like then you can't get mad when other people do it.
No, you
know what I
can't.
mean?
No, these are the same women that are probably defending Amber Heard right now.
Yeah, because I have no problem with people making fun of people when they're dead. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
whatever.
either. I mean, I usually
Amber Heard people aren't. It feels like people switched a little because they're not that mad at him. People are on Johnny Depp's side.
he's the better actor. That's why he's very charismatic.
That's what it's. That's
Dude,
all
when
it
he
is.
told
I give Marilyn Manson a pill so he would stop talking.
that
But
was.
do you think that is? Don't you think like if this was 3 years ago, people would be? It would not even be an option to be pro Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but
publicly.
I think what happened is like a lot, like every movement, right? Every movement, it gets too big, and then the Me Too movement went to something like, "Hey, let's get people like Harvey Weinstein to like every guy's horrible."
Right.
So no, everyone's like, "I don't want to do this anymore." Everybody's, and then people that started the Me Too movement are caught doing it too, and you're like, "Okay, so this is stupid."
I think it's also what Mersh was saying before, where there's so many people that were just like they looked around and they're like, everyone that I know that's cool isn't into this stuff. Everyone I know that's a loser is. And
Yeah,
you're just like-
exactly.
Yeah, it was one of those. Kevin Samuels is big one. The thing, what did he do? He went. His big original hit was telling the girl you're average at best, right?
Yes.
And then didn't he tell like 500 women? They would just call, because they would call in, right?
Of course.
He would do these like FaceTimes or whatever with
Yeah.
them, and he just shits on them.
Yeah,
Well,
he would
but
definitely
he
say
wouldn't
that.
just shit on him. I mean, I've watched some of his videos. I think that the more obviously the people dig for the good content, and that's him being shitty.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of videos I watched where he's just being very matter of fact with them and being like, "Yeah, I mean, like you are 38 and you already have one kid. Like, okay, so you got to go easy on this
Yeah,
new
he's
guy."
basically like, yeah, this is how the world sees
let's
you. And women are like, what?
You're not a fucking, you're not a virgin Disney princess anymore. You know what I mean? You got to start making some cuts and some cutbacks here.
Yeah, well, how many girls have posted that thing where it's like, I need a guy that's like this tall, makes this much money, and he did the math, and he was like, that's 0.1%. So it's like 1 in 1,000 guys.
Yeah.
That's what your league. You know what I mean?
Right, but a guy's not allowed to have any standards.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to be like, oh, you have to accept me for how I look and my 7 kids and all the mistakes I've made and my debt. And you're like, all right. I mean,
you need to be like,
No guy could be like, oh, you fucking want to say this. There's nothing. It's actually better to have a 2-inch dick, and there's fucking.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah, you need to be 6'2" and totally ripped, but they're also curvy. And every time you see curvy, you're like, all right, look, I think we need to adopt a national standard for the term curvy. So, you know, because they're like, oh, I need a man who's like ripped and a pro athlete. I'm curvy, by the way. And you're like 4'11" and like 250.
They're better at marketing. You have to almost give it to girls, though. We had dad bod for a while. Was fucking. That was probably the best work that men have done in terms of.
That's all Leonardo DiCaprio, by the way. That was all him.
Well,
too.
that's what you need. I mean, that's like.
They're
Kim
like, oh man,
Kardashian
I love a guy with dad bod, but also that has a yacht, right? Yeah.
But I think as a woman still coined dad bod.
Yeah.
Because they were saying how much they loved his dad bod. So it's like.
They love Leonardo DiCaprio, but I'm a fat guy, right? So every fat dude's like, "Hey, guess what? Guess what, ladies? Look who's the Chad now."
I think that was all born just because like Leonardo DiCaprio decided like one summer, I'm just gonna get it between movies, take off for 2 months, and sit on my boat and like, and he was just burping, like, drinking fucking beers, just burping,
banging like 22-year-old chicks.
Yeah, it was the best.
You know what it is with Kevin Samuels too, because there was a bunch of like he's done more stuff about like kind of guys like saying the same thing. Yo, dude, you're fucking broke. Like you think you get a supermodel? Whatever.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
He kind of did the same thing, but it was kind of making me laugh. The idea that dude inspiration is all like, you gotta fucking take over the world, bro. Like you need to better yourself. And girl inspiration is all, you are perfect. Change nothing.
Nothing you need to change. Yeah.
There's nothing you need to pivot in your
make
life.
zero modifications.
The guys are sending each other the rock motivational memes. Like, go rise and grind, man. Go get it.
Yeah.
And women are like, don't change. If anything, get worse, because that's good now.
Yeah.
Because men don't deserve you at your best anyway.
Yeah,
And you're like,
exactly.
fuck, Jesus, man.
Yeah, and all the female like clothing lines are all just like all the models look like fucking us.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's actually true. That it's like there's no more like the Victoria's Secret man, and it's what I always talk about is it's not that shit changes.
When the retarded one is the hottest one now, you have a problem.
It's
a problem, right? We've reached a critical point when you go, wait a minute, dude. One of them's a retard, and she's literally the hottest one.
That's right. There's the retard one. There's the trans one, and you're like, all right, like so you've taken everything away from them. That's it. it. So
Yeah, you're getting you have one choice now. You get the retard or the one with the dick. Like pick one now, and you have 10 seconds. Let's go. It's like a game show.
Can I have?
And you're like, I don't know, the retard. I guess.
Oh, ew.
Can I think about it?
No, the one with the dick, obviously.
Teach
Because
his
you
own.
know she's not going to be annoying because she's still a dude, you know.
That is the ultimate. It's like, yeah, you have all of the skills of a man with the life on easy mode of a woman.
Yes, it's amazing, right? Like all the strength, like you get all the strength and all the, and you're quick and you're
getting
fast.
all the perks, and now I'm going
Opening
to dominate you,
jars.
But
ladies
then
in
people
sports.
buying you drinks and opening doors. It's awesome.
There was it really is like girls don't like a message of self-improvement. It's like
They have to arrive at the.
it's
the
an
top.
attack.
What's one girl that's
It's-
like a popular, like I can name 40 guys that's all like, what's the girl version of even like a Tony Robbins?
I think it used to be Oprah.
Well,
Or like,
here's the
are
problem.
you talking like there's a female version of like Jocko Willing?
Yeah, what is that? Is
It's
there?
like, oh, you got your period and you were late to work today? Good. Like,
Yeah. Is there a girl version telling people to take ice baths and stuff?
Dr. Phil is, and it's a guy still telling girls what to do. But no, but
What does he do?
But no, he, it's okay to be who you are, and that doesn't make you less of a person. But it is kind of funny though, because you're right, because like dudes will be like, hey man, you're getting in shape, good for you. Girls, like, remember when what's her
You
face?
think you're better than us?
When Adele lost
yeah,
weight,
yeah.
when
Women
Adele
felt
lost weight,
betrayed.
women were mad at her. They weren't even happy for her. They were like Ethan Suplee, right? The really big dude from Mallrats that lost all the weight. He got all jacked.
Okay.
Yeah,
The guy from Boy Meets World.
The guy got.
He was in Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
That guy? Yeah,
yeah. He was
fat
the
kid.
bully.
Oh,
in
right,
Boy Meets
he
World.
was the bully, yeah,
So
yeah.
he got all jacked, and everyone's like, "Yeah, good for you, bro. You're awesome, dude. Get a Rebel Wilson loses weight. It's like, this bitch. What does she think?
who
She
did-
lost a ton.
I
She
know,
did.
fucking bitch, and they get all like, you know what? She
What are you
looks ugly now. Her
conforming?
face looks
Dude,
like,
she
they start
almost-
going after her, and you're like, what?
There is something to be said about she like rode the like fat positivity movement to like fame. And
Yes.
she was like, I'll be the funny fat person right when fat's in. And then the moment that stuff was wearing out, she's like, all right, see you later, fatties.
She got
Lap band surgery in it.
She get lap band and a personal trainer, and you're like, oh, okay, it's awesome.
That is like what she did. She really rose no pun intended, like slapped her leg and rode her own fat way.
And what it's just that weird,
Brilliant move.
It's that weird. It's like that. It's like everybody says, like, there is no female. There is no female motivational speaker because other women don't like when women succeed. They're so mad at each other. Like, people get mad. Oh, guys are so misogynistic. And I'm like, look, man, I have a lot of female friends, a lot of male friends, and nobody hates women more than other women. There's no guy. There's no guy that hates a woman more than another woman does. You know,
Right.
And it's just it's like, dudes are like, if we're hanging out with you, like, oh, you fucking loser, you suck. And when you leave, like, man, that Ryan's a good fucking dude. But for chicks, it's like, oh my God, you're so pretty. She goes to the bathroom. Oh my God, she's getting so fat. What a bitch. Did you see her? And you're like, well, that's why you guys are fighting, and that's why they don't have motivational speakers.
Did you hear what she did in fucking 2004?
Oh my God.
yeah, they don't want to be felt like that they need improvement. So as soon as you go like, hey, you want to come to the gym with me one day? It's like,
What is that
Oh, I
supposed
get
to
it.
mean?
So like, I'm getting
Whoa.
fat. Is that what it is? You're like, no, I just
don't trust you at home.
You're gonna rifle through my things like some Dominican CNA.
Your phone on lock and key. That was one thing. The Future, he was because he had Kevin Samuels in a video, and then he sort of everyone's getting mad at him because he's like the toxic brand or whatever.
Of course.
But then he actually said something reasonable. I wrote it down. He was like, "Oh, I would have." He was like, I wouldn't have had him in the video if I knew if it was him because it would have been too obvious of a move of me because everyone thought it was toxic. So it's like, Future sounds cool. He was like, no, I wouldn't not have him in the movie because he's toxic. It would just be like too on brand for me and I like to like fade what people think.
Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna take a quick second here to tell the people, the fine people, the best people,
The best
people on both sides about crowd health. So healthcare is no longer something that just takes place between you and your doctor, whether you know it or not. The government, the big insurance companies, they stand in between you and getting good quality care. Your health is being bought and sold to the highest bidder, and I'm freaking sick of it.
I'm not having it.
I'm also not having it. Politicians, hospitals, big pharma, health insurance companies make huge profits at the expense of your health. So This is a different way of doing it, and lobbyists are fighting to make sure that they won't have competition and you won't have options, all sorts of stuff. So Crowdhouse Disruptive Technology puts your healthcare decisions back in your hands, saves you money, cuts out the middleman. It's not insurance. It is what insurance should be. So there's no deductibles, networks, complicated exclusions, or copays. See any doctor you want and pay the first $500 and submit any bills from there. The Crowd Health community takes care of the rest. Crowd Health is a new way to pay for healthcare. No doctor networks, no huge premiums, high deductibles, no surprises. Putting the community back in community healthcare. 100% of your monthly contribution directly funds and reduces the healthcare costs of the community. Unlike insurance, you're not limited by doctor networks. So how does CrowdWorth lower your yearly cost up to 60% or less? Unlike insurance, CrowdHealth succeeds by keeping its members happy, not driving up the price. CrowdHealth helps members shop for great care at a fair price, makes payments to doctors and members as quickly as possible, and negotiates on the community's behalf when unexpected bills arise. And when that happens, very important because they can hit you pretty hard. So stop paying health insurance companies your hard-earned dollars. Go to joincrowdhealth.com now and experience freedom from health insurance. Right now, you can get your first 6 months for just $99 a month. That's almost 50% off the normal price and a lot less than a high deductible healthcare plan. Just go to joincrowdhealth.com, use the promo code Boyscast to sign up. Give it a try. Everyone's got to have healthcare. That's crowdhealth.com, promo code Boyscast. And just a disclaimer that it is not health insurance. It's a totally new way of paying for healthcare. Terms and conditions may apply. Also, going to tell the fine people over here about Babbel. So this is a new app that helps you learn languages. If people aren't familiar, you know, for most of us, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point of the career. Me personally, that's my lowest things I've ever gotten was taking French.
French, yeah.
By a long shot. Spent most of that class in the hallway, and then the teacher eventually went to the insane asylum. And that's actually
I remember
true
in Canada
involvement.
too. There was like they go in when you're in grade 9. They go, they can't fail you. It's like you can't fail grade 9 French.
It's hard,
because
yeah.
they don't want people redoing it because it's just.
But that's where I guess I got that treatment.
Yeah, you can't fail, and you go, all right.
Yeah. Well, now thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an actively fun and easy way to learn a new language. Whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with friends and family, or having some free time, Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. Potentially, you want to pick up some ladies in a place where the language barrier.
Bonjour.
You want?
Je m'appelle Danny.
Yes.
That's all I know,
Yes. Je ne petite. I said, you're not petite. I said, you're big.
No.
Well, that's the type of thing. It's a very cool app. 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. Other language learning apps use AI for their lessons plan, but Babbel's lessons were created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching method was scientifically proven to be effective. With Babbel, you can choose between 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, German, and more. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accents. There are many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it. Start the new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, save up to 60%, which is a high ticket discount with their subscription when you go to babbel.com/boyscast. BABBEL.com/boyscast for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, a language for life. Getting back into it. But I wanted to do just a quick thing. So you guys are constantly online being like, New York and LA blow, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
New York's okay.
No, New York sucks.
Oh, you mean like as far? Oh yeah, New York and LA do kind of suck.
Because I feel like I have a specific thing because I'm like, especially, I don't know if you feel like this, where I left my entire kind of life behind to come to New York specifically.
The Big Apple.
I had sort of a thinking of that. And
of course.
When I got here, other than the stuff that is, okay, obviously, so I made a list of what the stats are or whatever.
Okay.
So there's obviously, yes, homeless people and all that stuff, but that wasn't a surprise. Like to me, I wasn't like it's going to be the cleanly hub.
To be fair, we don't really do the whole New York has homeless people. That's more of a
Florida man is sort of the medium.
That's more
too.
of an LA thing, like the homeless thing. Like
The
you guys have
camps.
homeless
Well,
people.
We have cold weather that kills them.
No,
off every
that's
season.
my point. But LA, it's like there's literal cities that they do nothing about, right?
Yeah.
So that's not my problem. I have other problems with New York.
Well, because I want to separate the three, because basically there's an East Coast, West Coast thing, which I feel more of.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Florida people we're like, actually, it's East Coast, West Coast, and we're the best.
We're Trick Daddy or some other Southern rappers. That's
Right.
us. We're Trick Daddy in this whole thing.
And it's sort of emerging because people have started to actually move to those places. Like it's, this is that spot. Like, no, it's not an alternative. Like, this is the better one.
Well, that's because Pitbull's there.
That actually does make a big difference.
Yeah,
That's
he's a big
huge.
part of our GDP.
It's exactly.
Okay, so what's the pitch about what's so crappy about New
Well,
York?
first of all, you just said, all the homeless here. First of all, those are all Florida man. Like you have a bunch more of them.
We have a lot of Florida
They just
men in
behave
Toronto,
more
yeah.
because it's freezing out all the
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
So that's, you have the same problem.
That is true. You think the cold weather the cold weather makes them sort of less crazy. I feel like in the summer they're more bopping around and then they get to calm down a little bit in the winter.
But that's what I'm saying. So you guys have them in the cold.
Like the bears,
they're
they
all
hibernate-
Florida
they
men. They
hibernate.
just are freezing. So they're not going to pull their dick out and try to fuck like a rat or a pigeon.
Okay.
Or
Well, they
something.
will on the subway because that's where they go.
Your subways are super safe, by the way.
Yeah.
Subways
What I've
aren't that
seen.
safe, and I'm not what I would consider a pussy, but I do feel a little
You
sometimes.
are what I consider a pussy.
And every fucking Asian has a target in their back of their head here too.
Tough,
Like
I
every
know.
week, there's like 5 or 6.
There
of
hasn't
them.
been one in a while though. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Two full weeks. They have the sign up in the subway station.
There's been 2
with the
weeks.
number. Like someone changes the number every day. Days without an Asian person getting pushed on the subway.
We
We're
were
at
like,
16.
whoa, hey,
Yeah.
muscle top.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
it's really funny though because we play all the news stories from everywhere, and trust me, we make fun of Florida more than anybody because we do a lot of dumb shit, right?
What? Okay, so I felt like you guys are like Florida supremacists.
No, not at all. We make fun of a lot. We make fun of the problem with
I
Florida.
came out repping the colors today.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I know Florida can be this gritty, alligator meth, all these crazy people. And yes, we have all that. But also there's something cool about that where it's like nobody tells us what to do, because I was saying it earlier today, it's like everybody thinks it's like, oh yeah, no, it's just a political thing, bro. This has nothing to do with politics when it comes to Florida's ungovernable.
Yeah,
like
100%.
that's what it is.
I actually was kind
we're
of
crazy. We're
No, it's true.
fucking nuts.
Yo, we're loco,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
I was shocked.
It's a
with the
wild
abortion
place,
stuff
but
there.
everybody is super polite because everyone's armed at all
Right.
times.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, there might be like a fuck you, you cut me off, asshole. But nobody's like coming up to your car with like, a broken hockey stick or something.
I remember when I was-
they're gonna get shot. Like
When I
most-
was in Miami, it was on the news that there was like some people were driving around with like literally a fully automatic rifle and just firing into random cars on the highway.
Yeah, that
Just for
happens
fun.
sometimes.
Just like for fun.
Nice.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, that
Look, sometimes that happens. Look, what's crazy. I'm not saying it's not. I just, number one, like for me, I've never been like, it's not even a New York thing. I'm not a big city person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, look at these bills. Look at the bustling life. I'm like, I don't like that many people around me. So I'm like, just leave me alone.
Do you know how they always? Yeah, that's how a lot of people always. I always think of the same way with a lot of people describe things as like left, right, but really it's like a fucking male, female, or whatever. It's like, yeah, people describe kind of fucking red, blue. What you're really describing is like city, country.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a really good point because a lot of people always think, oh, it's all political. I'm like, not really. There's just different people have a different kind of lifestyle, right?
City boys versus country.
City boys
Yeah,
versus
for sure.
country
Godless
boys.
city kids.
Godless city kids versus us,
Nihilists.
us humble, hardworking Southern folk.
Yeah,
I
it's
just want
like,
to eat my gruel.
yeah, it's like New York's as blue as you can get, and then drive fucking an hour.
And by the way, you fuckers, here's the problem: is that then when COVID happened, everyone in New York is like, "Oh, Florida's so stupid," and literally everybody from New York was there. Every car was on our highway clogging it up, and I'm just out the window like an old Southerner going, "Yankee, go home!"
But Florida's tons of New Yorkers. That's like the
Oh no!
so many of them move there because it's the same time zone.
And you know what? And I forgive New Yorkers because they're not the worst. The French Canadians.
yeah,
The
Ontario.
French
Canadians are garbage.
Real not great.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're not
And
great.
it's also the
They don't
only
tip
acceptable
fucking
form of
service.
racism.
And
No,
they don't,
and that's
they
what-
don't tip service industry people,
But
which
that's-
really pisses off Floridians. Whew.
Oh, the French
You'll
people
get shot for that. Yeah.
Tabernacle.
You're not tipping.
And it goes to show you racism isn't what people make it out to, because if you ask a server, you go, hey, who tips the worst? You expect to hear like, oh yeah, black people tip the worst. But they're like, no, they go, French Canadians.
fucking
they
frogs.
Go, exactly. French Canadians tip the worst. They just won't tip. And they won't do it. And they go, and then the excuse is always like, well, you know, it's different there. And
It's not different in
I
fucking-
know it's not. And then I go, what do you mean? I go,
This is a
they're,
different culture.
they're from
you
Canada,
can't-
not fucking France.
What's different about it? They walk on their hind legs, for starters.
I don't understand.
Okay, so they did all of the thing. Taxes, obviously, that
Yeah,
one's better.
taxes.
No income tax. Boom.
But there was some things where they basically
Property
said
tax,
higher
sales
property
tax.
tax.
higher.
there was some higher. They've get you a few other
That's
ways.
where they
Whatever.
get you with property and sales tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So transportation, these places have better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a benefit.
But I don't get murdered in my car.
Wait, but
it
what
takes a
ci-
little longer to get
well,
places.
no. So here's the thing.
What cities are you
Crime-
comparing? What cities? I just want
This
to
was
know.
New York, Florida.
But just the whole state?
Yeah,
You're
state.
comparing, okay, state to state. Okay, go ahead.
State to state. Okay.
Okay.
So crime, according to FBI reporting, the overall crime rate in New York is actually quite low. I don't know if this is biased, and places the state just outside the top 10 states with the lowest crime rate
I mean,
overall.
they did in your defense, New York. They just stopped arresting people for stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
also, you got to
But is that why?
realize-
Because it says here that the crime rate in Florida is actually higher.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
Why? So what is the? Tell me the skinny.
Here's what it is. The reason that it's a little inside baseball. The reason
How do they fucking stack the stats?
Well, here it's actually funny.
It doesn't make
because
sense to me
The
either.
reason that Florida, everybody thinks that Florida's this crazy state because you always have these Florida man stories, right, that come out. But the reason those stories actually come out so quickly and so it's because we have something called Sunshine State laws, right, where you can't like other places let you crimes are immediately published.
Yeah, they're
online.
published immediately. I know.
It's
I-
right. It's right away. So obviously, that affects the crime rate, and we're still. I mean, there's a lot of parts of Florida, like Polk County. We had like Grady Judd. Grady Judd, the crazy sheriff that we have, the one that's always.
no.
Oh, he's nuts. Anyway.
Yeah. Plus, we have a bunch,
I don't know your Florida sheriff.
Plus, we have a bunch.
Oh yeah, sorry, but everyone needs to know. Oh, first off, sending me to the wrong studio. You don't even know where you're at.
Yeah,
By
seriously.
the way.
I sent them to the wrong.
Yeah. I'm sitting out there in front of a sidewalk flea market going, where the fuck is Ryan?
How sick is that sidewalk flea market?
It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it went from them-
I got a Gucci wallet.
Dude, it went from them selling stuff that they were finding
Yeah.
to super quickly. They're like, oh, you're just going to steal stuff and start our own businesses. And it's, dude, they sell like ground beef.
Okay.
frozen
Okay, so
ground beef.
also for the record, to defend the crime thing, we have
Why is the crime rate higher?
we have
though? Is it, like,
Jacksonville, we have Orlando, we have Daytona Beach, we have Miami, we have Tampa.
more cities?
You have
New York City.
Buffalo. or
Okay, come on. Come on. This is a serious
Half
show.
of those
okay?
crimes are handed over to the fucking the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
That's a pretty good point. So more cities.
Yeah, because we got you
Lot
have,
more
New York's
cities.
big, but Miami's huge.
Everyone's trying to scam you in Miami and do
Oh,
crime.
And also the other reason is we don't like juke our stacks the way you guys do in New York.
Where they
Like
just
cops
don't
just let people off because they don't want the paperwork.
Yeah.
Whereas in
They don't do
Florida,
any- and they just stopped working. Period, because of the fucking like cops. People hate the cops so much.
if we had an urban area like New York City and we had like a jaywalking thing, there would be prisons. There would be an entire processing center filled with people being like,
I mean,
well, he jaywalked.
Cops
I gotta
back
take
in the
him
day was like 90% Florida. the
Yeah,
show.
no, that's fair. That is fair. And
They arrest everyone for everything.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But-
well,
Dude, I have
But-
a fucking ticket that I didn't pay in Hollywood, Florida for a dog on a boardwalk, and then I'm just like, there's probably a warrant for the rest of
No,
my
it
life.
happens too. Like I ran a toll. In Florida. I didn't run a toll, but my thing, just didn't go off or whatever. And then they apparently mailed me a ticket, and I never got it. And then I get pulled over, and the cop's like, "Hey, man, your license is suspended." I go, "For what?" They go, "Yeah, it says a toll violation like from 2 years ago." I'm like, "Oh, fucking
God.
what?" But so again, another way they make their money in Florida. They gotta.
That's how they get it.
And,
Well, apparently,
and the interest and fees too, because like we don't have an income tax, but like I got a parking ticket in Orlando. Remember that? Like
Yeah.
a few months ago, and I was doing some, and I come out, got the ticket. It was like $27, and it became one of those where I just put it on my desk, and I'm like, oh, I'll fucking get around to it.
Kept going
and
up.
and I just didn't get around to it
Every
for like
month.
2 months. It was like $57. Like I paid it right before we left for this road trip because I'm like, oh, I don't want to get pulled
That's
over.
not
like,
that
Virginia.
bad.
No, but it was like $24, and then like a month and a half later, it was
Oh,
like
dude, in Toronto, they go up. Dude,
$57.
Toronto, they're like 30, and they eventually end up at like way over
12,000.
100.
We got our car towed when I was on tour and came back and they wanted $2K to fucking take it out.
What?
Yeah, these guys.
How much?
$2K because it was like $175 a day.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
the
I
lot.
mean?
They charge you for
Oh,
the
because you were
Holy
gone.
shit.
Uh-huh. They're total
that's
scumbags,
gotta hurt.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
it was furious. Well, this
Yeah.
when I'm like 21 too.
Dude,
so
we had a buddy go on vacation in Toronto, and then he left, and he was like, you could park on the street. And then when he was gone on his vacation, they started doing construction, and then they put up a sign being like, you can't park on the street. As he was gone.
That's
And then they
amazing.
towed his car.
yeah.
And then he's just like, what the fuck? So he's like, my car's stolen. And then they're like, no, it was towed, and you owe like all this money to get it back.
The sign just popped out of the ground like a cartoon.
Pretty much, dude.
Oh, legitimately. Well, that's another thing. The income is higher in New York, so that's one thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so people make more money.
But
'Cause you
see,
need
hold
it.
on. There's
Yeah.
a
Well, I mean,
difference
pushing
that you
people
don't.
on the subway track is pretty lucrative.
That's a good point.
Good gig.
The income is
Especially if
higher.
you double it up with handing out tickets to bringer shows. You can make a killing.
The income is higher, but that's also because you're paid. But after you pay more taxes.
well, after you and rent, like you can't even.
right.
Fucking,
That's
yeah.
Are you really making more? Like that's happening. Like
No,
that-
you aren't. But if you could work here and then
Uh-huh.
save it,
That's a good. That's,
And then hopefully save it, then move to Florida.
there's a lot of
little
companies.
life hack.
There's a lot of companies that started working remote now, like after COVID, and they stayed remote. So there's a lot of big companies like in New York and stuff, and people like move to Georgia, right? And they're just like, I have to work remote. I don't need to go to New York. But then these companies are like, okay, but we're not going to pay you your New York paycheck. Then they adjust it for
I
where
know.
you're living, and they go, you're going to pay.
It's
you're gonna,
still worth it, though. Honestly, even
Oh
if
no,
they
even
adjust
still,
it, you're
yeah.
just like, fine.
Fuck it. I
okay,
don't
how
care.
much would a place like our studio be in this location and where in like I guess not Miami, but in where you live?
Let's say Lakeland. This would be like a Lakeland area, right? So
A space like this, like wide open like that, like $600-700 a month.
Come on. Yeah, we're up around 3.
I mean, it would be
yeah,
well, no, 'cause-
yeah, about maybe
no, you know what?
maybe 1,000 now
I'll
because a lot
say
of people
this.
move
No,
there.
yeah, it'd be about
About
probably
1,000.
$10.50
All right.
because you have a kitchen and like a bathroom. I forgot about it. Like this is actually a full, like you know what I mean?
But
Okay.
about that much.
Yeah.
And then
Because I pay about $10.68 and I have a 2-bedroom apartment by myself.
That's insane.
Yeah.
here's a thing that Florida has more of: boomers. And I
Okay,
know you
yes.
guys aren't boomer fans.
Guilty. I will not. But you know what we did?
It's the boomer.
I don't
hub.
know. We have Long Island.
We did separate, but
Dude, they ruined the world. and
Traveling
then-
drunks, as you say.
They ruined the world like 4 times over, and then COVID happened, and then we ruined the world to save them. I'm furious.
You think that's what happened?
I'm furious.
Well,
at
it's
them.
they were in charge.
Yeah.
It's like people are like,
We
why
didn't
would
have
they
a
do?
choice. We
Why
didn't
would
have a
they
choice.
do this? And you go because that age of people in charge are that.
Yeah, I mean, but it's true. We do have old people, but we're doing a separate but equal thing, but with ageism. So there's this entire like I'm gonna call a city, basically fucking this whole county called the Villages in northwest Florida, where it's like all the old people are there, and then they're kind of so the rest of Florida is kind of getting a little bit younger in those areas because all the old people like in their. Oh yeah, go ride around in your golf cart and and they all fuck each other there.
Oh
too.
yeah,
It's
there's like
fucking
noise.
bro. There's,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
STD infection rate in the villages is like a
Really?
huge,
The
dude.
old
It's
villages?
way above the whole
It's
state
way
average.
above the
It's worse than college towns.
There's
Yeah,
actually
'cause they're all
news stories.
retirees that
Being
like
old rules.
they're all
Yeah.
like widowers and shit, like listening to Jimmy Buffett and walking around just drinking.
And they don't
margaritas
hide
all
it,
day
by
and
the
just
way. They'll be like,
fucking-
"Oh yeah, I fucked Rob the other day. It was great." And like they just do that. Like it's a bunch of just
Like
old
50,
ladies.
60 years old, nobody can get pregnant. Like you're gonna die soon anyway. You've been drinking your whole life. You're in fucking Florida. You're doing cheap.
Where in
meth.
Florida is that?
It's the Villages. So it's kind of north of Tampa.
Oh, okay.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's a
That
weird
sounds like a
place.
party. That could be the plan a little bit.
And by the way, they'll still let you go to the bars there. There's no way. There's no. We could go hang and find somebody.
Yeah, man. Get
What's-
out there, seduce some women, get them to update their life insurance policies.
Yeah.
Do you think that
Good
there was?
scam.
We were doing something the other day, and people were pushing back on the boomer thing. Do you think that it's switched where like boomers are making a comeback. Like it feels like, what was it the other day?
No, when I did Tim Pool,
and you said something
no,
about
I didn't say
boomers?
something. Tim Pool said something about shitting on boomers. Like I can't remember what it was, and then his whole comments was like 20,000 comments being like, "I'm fucking 67 years old."
Yeah.
He was saying like boomers.
They're getting.
Oh, he was
fed up
saying
with
he was
it.
saying like he was like, oh, boomers like don't know about it was Babylon B. He goes, they think it's real and they don't know. And those people are like, I've been listening to watching Babylon B for fucking 10 years. It's like I'm not a boomer. I'm sick of getting shit on for being a boomer. And like
They're the new, like, white men.
What you're telling me is that
struck a nerve.
Tim Pool's audience leans really hip and cool. And
Yeah.
young.
Well, not-
cool hip demo.
I guess this is just a part
Well, these
of
are the
it.
ones. Well, these are the ones.
Well,
who
no, it's funny
very
because
upset
not
about
guaranteed you're going to see a tweet from some sort of a older MAGA person going like, actually, the B word is worse than the N word.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know it's
That's what
coming,
it
and you
seems like.
know it's
They're
coming.
gonna say
That's gonna
Karen is literally worse than the N word.
Yeah, did you see
Yeah.
that? Like, I'm like, come on, man, please stop.
So what's the big criticisms for you guys? What's their problem?
DeSantis, he's a monster. He's every time he's
no, of boomers.
of like I thought you meant our state in general. Just that they're
You don't like DeSantis?
they're
No, we love DeSantis. That's a criticism we get, though.
they're demonic monsters who reverse mortgaged this country for 40 years and like
Yeah.
got RVs and went off so they can go fuck in the Arizona desert. And like they didn't do what people have done for generations, which was like, this is the family house, you know, and then we'll give it to the like, you know what I mean? You're supposed to pass things down and take care of your grandparents in your house, not send them off to like, you know, have like some Dominican lady in the Bronx rifling through their things at like some nursing home. Like there were things that you were supposed, every generation did it before us. And like Asians still do it, Hispanics still do it, but a lot of like just the white boomer Americans were like, yeah, I'll just stick dad at home and sell his house. I don't fucking go party for a while. I think I want to go to Burning Man. You know what I mean? You're like, I'll work remote from Burning Man. And it's like, just like we've gotten to that level, and boomers was the first phase of like, yeah, we'll get a reverse mortgage and shut it all down.
and then before you know it, Andy Dick is buying your used RV so you can grab somebody's dick in it.
I need this. I'm going to have it burned because
This is, you know what? The Andy Dick thing is boomers' fault for normalizing RV travel.
And Andy Dick's just calling him going, is it evidence yet? Do me a favor. I want to buy it for $5,000. All right, no more than 5, and we got to burn it.
Yeah, there is a...
I'm going to fucking prison.
he would like prison, though. You think that'd be good for him?
That's a good point.
There is like, and I guess because also not only were they like, hey, we're not going to give away our houses, there's a lot of them like starting companies right now be like, what if we just buy all the other houses too? And fucking, you know what I mean? It really, it kind of did.
Like the BlackRock just buying up.
Dude, BlackRock like buys entire. Did you see the scam
cities.
Did you see the scam that Zilla's doing?
Is crypto the way to fight back?
Listen,
Have you seen the price of crypto?
Bitcoin fixes this.
Bitcoin fix. You know what?
Bitcoin fixes this.
Hear me
Bitcoin
out. Hear
fixes
me
it.
out. In business with me, Boyscast NFT.
Boyscoin, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go, guys. That's the way
Dude,
up.
you know what's so funny too is like because crypto's getting absolutely fucking just demolished.
I'm
right
taking
now.
a break from losing money from crypto to lose money in the real stock market.
Yeah.
I go back and
No,
forth.
but the idea like someone's
Call
trying
me
to,
old school, but I'm losing money in the real stock market.
All so brutal
Dude, but like
right
someone's trying to like launch an NFT like today,
Yeah.
and
Oh
you gotta
my
like
God.
read the fucking room.
I got this picture of Droopy the dog. Not now.
Not now,
My wife is divorcing me.
dude. I don't know if you saw
I
like
can't pay my
I told her
goddamn mortgage.
I told her
Man.
Cardano and Chainlink were gonna
Dude,
make us billionaires.
the fucking Luna thing. I don't know if you saw that, but like it basically went from 120 to 69 cents yesterday.
Oh no!
It hit
What?
69 cents yesterday.
Is that bad?
That is bad, and it's but like because just like crypto does. Are you checking? Just like
No,
I thought you were
no, I
checking
actually
your
don't
wallet.
actually-
Yes, so
I don't-
crazy.
I don't-
I thought you-
He's panicking.
Yeah, he goes, "What the
Holy
fuck?"
shit.
No,
Oh,
I
God,
did.
start
Thank God I
shaking.
didn't have Luna coin.
Dude, but yeah. But anyways,
Our body just messaged us. He's got fucking torch.
oh yeah, he's,
You see Merch look down, he goes, I'm ruined. And I found out on the Boyscast that I'm ruined.
Merch just announced. He goes, "I'm launching an NFT. If anyone's
guys,
interested."
just tell my audience, guys,
dude,
just to let you know, my cat is now down to 1 wet food a day. That's all he's getting.
But Luna was like a real cult. Like they had, like cryptos in general, like it has these, but it was a real cult around Luna. And I was looking through the guy who started this guy, Do Kwon, who
Daquan?
Yeah.
The Instagram guy?
No, not Daquan.
Irish
His name's-
gentleman?
Yes, an Irish gentleman. His name's Do Kwon.
Quan was just like, hey, homie, figure out how I can get in on this NFT game.
NFT dog. But anyways, he started this thing, and everybody was really into it. And it went from $5 to 120. Everybody's like, we're all gonna be rich. And then, but like the comments on Twitter when it went from 120 to $1, basically in, I don't know, a week, or like it was a $70 5 days ago. And it was
People
like,
are jumping out of windows.
no, people are just like, I put my whole, people are like,
buy
I put my whole life
the
savings.
dip. Buy the dip.
But that is a game as old as time, right? Like I've lost money on things, I've made money on things, but like when something's like wow, like taking off like that, you go, okay, I'm not doing this right now. You gotta wait and see.
Or
like,
just
I do it usually.
Or you just like put a
I'll get a taste,
stop
but,
in or
you know.
something.
That's because you have a gambling problem, though.
I've been saying on stage that crypto is how men close the wage gap. every guy puts 20% of his money into crypto and loses it.
That's very accurate.
What if women, because they don't know they don't really know who's the guy that came up with Bitcoin. What if just a woman just to fucking even the scores with us?
Well,
Well, it's like Satoshi's just some chick.
Yes, some chick. Fuck these
Right.
guys.
Look, I don't know those Japanese names.
It's
I
a
just
scam.
assumed it was a
I
dude
assumed it was a
because
guy.
it was
I don't
brilliant
know.
technology. I just assumed.
Well, if you think about like, it was making me laugh the idea that like the girl fables is like a Little Red Riding Hood, like don't. Stay away from strangers is like the moral. Jack and the Beanstalk is like a dude fable. Like he gives all his money for this bean. Everyone says he's stupid. Then it turns out it's actually fucking sick.
Yeah.
He goes to the fucking moon and he's rich now. Like, there's
He literally to the moon.
What's the moral of that story? And I say now you don't even get a bean. You just get a digital copy of a bean.
A JPEG of a bean.
There you go, boys. By the way, look out for Bean Coin coming out soon.
Yeah, it's Jack and the Beanstalk.
Dude, actually, I was in Toronto and I met up with a buddy on the weekend, and he was this girl he's seeing, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to like the NFT. Whatever, like the NFT
Emporium.
New York
Pool
con
party.
No,
The
NFT
pool
no, like the
party.
convention. I was like, oh, you're really into that stuff? And she said, I go, and what do you like about it? And she goes, oh, she's like, I'm way down, but they just go up in price. I go, oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be bad.
This is gonna be
By the way, they just go up in price.
She goes, they're down now, but she's like, they'll be back. And I'm
But
like,
you can't lose.
no, really, that's because you could tell this is her extent of
the
investing.
house always loses in
You
this
fucking
game.
Mark.
Yeah, but I'm like, there must be just so many people.
Well, what? And you don't know. You're into the second part. Danny's like, anyways, I got some shit to sell you.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you heard of
So
Danny Coin?
Unloading Luna on her.
I'm selling Bean Coin now. You ever heard of Jack and the Beanstalk? I'm telling you, it's gonna
Honestly,
grow.
I'd be shocked if that doesn't exist.
Oh, man.
Oh, people are getting fucking lit up right now. I've lost so much money. Dude, I've lost so much money and I have to pay tax on that money. So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm paying fucking huge amounts on taxes on money I don't have anymore.
Go literally, like if you look at Wall Street Bets right now, it's half of the poster of the suicide hotline. Unironically.
You're right.
Unironically. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Not
like,
a joke.
honestly,
everybody's just like, it's not worth it. Don't kill yourself.
don't kill yourself. There's still, you can still pawn a few more things and the game. Buy the dip. Yeah, people are like, I might kill myself, and they're like, I didn't hear no bell.
Dogecoin is making a comeback, boys. Let's
It's
go.
under 10 cents.
Oh, no. God.
That's not
Man,
good.
we know this girl who fucking, she, in the height of the Dogecoin thing, she was like, she was living with her parents, okay? And she's like not in comedy, but comedy like adjacent or whatever. And she was like back with her parents, had no money. I guess took out like a credit card loan, bought Dogecoin at a penny, was up like she was posting screenshots of it, $750,000.
What?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I honestly, I bet you she's
did
just
she
like
hold.
No, yeah, I think so. She was like a hodler. She's like, it's
Diamond
going on.
hands.
Dude,
Yeah.
diamond hands hodling is literally one of the
Retarded.
worst strategies unless you own like Apple, like to do it on like a speculative asset.
that's a really good point.
Terrible
If you want to have diamond
strategy.
hands on the S&P 500,
No, and then it became this like badge
diamond
of
hands
honor.
on Disney.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, even Disney, I guess from 20 years ago, sure. And if you wait another 20 years, but
the real diamond.
yeah, the real diamond hands, I guess. But people are like, you can't be over leveraged and diamond hands. That's just not how that works.
Yeah,
you get blown up.
You sell, and then you maybe hang on to a little bit of it, you know. And
It was fucking yeah.
That's
it was,
pretty
it was,
fucked.
But like, dude,
So
there was
still
the
with the
one guy who was
parents
the
now?
first. I don't know. She went on she kind of went loopy. And
well, yeah. I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah. But remember, like, there's the dude who was the first Doge millionaire, and he's like,
Yes.
I'm never selling that guy. And he was like, he turned, and he's like pretty not fully round.
He's still a Doge thousandaire.
Yeah, but he was in, I think, at 4 cents, got to a million, and now, I mean, I bet you we see Doge in 5-6 cents soon.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'll tell you what. Like the moral of this lesson
Don't
is
jump.
take the mill. Like if there ever is a mill
Kenny
in
Rogers.
some form,
With
right?
that being said, though, that person that tried to take the mill, as you say, maybe should have taken the 500K. Really?
That's not a bad point.
That person maybe should have taken the
How about
800K.
this?
And
You know
that's
what?
why
Let's all compromise. Take the 100K
And beat it.
If it hits that, just take it and go back to your hotel
there's
room.
a lot of fucking people. Dude.
I did take the 100K. Loss.
Yes.
That's not counting taxes, though.
It's not counting crypto.
Oh, dude,
It's not counting.
I'll tell you what. The government is going to be getting a lot of Dumb and Dumber style IOUs this year. Because those are as good as money.
Anyways, fellas, merch is on sale. RyanLongStore.com.
For the love of God.
Patreon.com.
And if you want to pay in Bitcoin, do that soon because it's
Hurry up,
Bitcoin's gonna be worth
bro.
less and less every day. So
They're only accepting mailed-in envelopes of cash at this point.
you know what I don't know here so much, but I did notice when I was in Toronto that every place you go by had signs being like 10% discount if you pay cash. So I guess everybody's like, we don't want to give our money to the government.
Can't I just mail my cash directly to the Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
just
are we
mail it
sending-
directly
The
to
government's doing
Ukraine.
it for you.
Well,
Yeah, just skip the middle.
I don't want a
Just cut out the
Yeah.
middleman. I'll just give it right to Zelensky.
You know what you do
Here's
is-
for your offshore companies.
Did you see that U2 concert there?
That was amazing.
Bro,
I meant to bring that up actually in the fucking.
Bro.
Oh, dude, in the subway station.
And it was so bad. He looked like a street singer.
And Trudeau was there, right?
Dude, all the cool people, of course.
And he modified some of the lyrics to like
Isn't that the hate
to
when they
add
do-
Ukraine as like
Stop
he's
it.
changing up some of the songs.
Oh, well, the sweetest Linsky.
Kiev, bloody Kiev.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
it's terrible.
That is fucking rough, dude.
It's hard to watch.
I was just
Funny
complaining.
thing
that
too on
they were
those things
my
too is like
That's
because it's
a-
just Bono and Edge and like the other guys are probably like fuck we dodged a bullet. on
That's
this one.
literally-
Thank God they don't need a drummer.
Do you
in the
think that there was a
subway.
guy that just turned on his iPod and he was like, fucking U2's playing? He goes, wait a
Okay.
sec. What the fuck?
They're in the hallway?
In real? They're doing it for real now?
Apparently it's pretty. I was just hanging out with my family on the weekend, and my grandmother has this like lady who helps her, and she's from Ukraine, and apparently Kiev's like pretty normal right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if like Nancy Pelosi's hanging out with him,
Yeah.
so I'm like, they're all showing up now, right?
Like there are cities where they're
Dude,
like
don't
having
spread
fun.
that disinformation.
Not. She's from
Just
Ukraine.
don't. Just be
And they're all. She's super pumped because she's like all of her family can now get the fuck out of there and come to Canada because they're giving visas. So like they're actually like kind of
Canada's
kind of-
handing out visas all willy nilly.
You heard Danny.
They
The
don't do
Ukraine,
that.
the Ukraine thing was a good thing. You heard him.
for some of them.
Heard it here first.
Some people always come out on top, my
So I don't
friend.
know what to tell you.
Making a little lemonade.
Yes, exactly.
Dude, I hate to be like, you can always play that game of like, this is where my taxes are going
Yeah.
with, you could just pick a
Oh, with
thing, right?
anything, of course.
But like, it did seem crazy to me right now when like everything's kind of the read the room thing with everything's crashing. I just fucking gave up fucking all my money to the government and the crypto markets. And then they're just like, yo, fucking 40 billion. And you're just like, yo, you're robbing it. It does,
Yeah, it's like, what do
it
you
does
think?
make you be like, I'm going to be a fucking
like
hardcore
they're-
like anarchist crypto guy.
There's no baby formula, and they're like, we need to give $40 billion to Ukraine. Like, the babies aren't eating. Can we figure that out?
It did seem
it's
like a
kinda
lot.
like-
I don't even know what things cost. They go, what is that, a tank? What's 40 billion get you? A couple tanks?
One airplane.
It's kind of like being in jail and then having like some big dude come over, but like very politely finesse things off of you and like just suggest
Right.
that the vibe's bad.
Yeah, it's just like,
And-
are you gonna finish that?
Yeah,
There's
I
no
didn't,
real
yeah,
threat,
I didn't
like-
have any soap actually. You know what? Could I? You don't mind? And you're like, no, hey, of course not. Because you just don't want to get raped.
Well, especially when
that's
they
what the
hear-
whole relationship with the government is like. I hope you don't rape me. Yeah, I have commissary items. If
Yeah.
you want ramen,
Specifically in America, too.
take my ramen. It's
Yeah.
okay. That's fine. Please just don't rape me, dude.
But there is kind of, it's that thing where it'll be like, what? You don't care about poor people? You don't think your tax should be higher? Most of those people, I'm like, well, I paid more than you, so I guess I cared way more than you.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm like, I
I
pay my fucking taxes.
Yeah, but you're supposed to like it. You're supposed to be like pumped about it.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking enjoy the
Oh,
banging.
sorry. Would you rather them give the money to Russia, Ryan?
Well, that's my exact point.
And that's always the argument,
It's like
right?
they're rubbing it in your face. That's the
Yeah.
that's the guy. in jail, like, or no, it's the guy by the subway that's like, my family broke, you know, all this stuff. Like, I'm poor. Like, my daughter can't eat. Can I just give you $5 or whatever? And you're like, yeah, bro, here's $5. And then he just like walks by and throws it in the garbage.
You're like, oh, come on. No, but it's but it's funny because, you know, they're saying, oh yeah, let's give them $40 billion. But it's not just $40 billion, because then it's 2 weeks ago it was $20 billion. Yeah. So when you start, they trickle it in, so even they don't shock you that much.
Oh yeah.
So like it was $20 billion last week. Well, we need to give them $60 billion. Yeah, how about $80 billion? $1 trillion. Money isn't real. Who cares? And then they go, we're going to sanction Russia. We're going to fuck them up.
Imagine if they are able through this proxy war, which is really what it just is, and then they go, we have all of Russia's resources, and then at the end of the day, they go, that was a fucking good deal.
Good investment.
Have we ever done that? Have we ever?
Not successfully, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work this time.
I mean, look at all the resources we have in Afghanistan now.
And Iraq. Oh my God, all that great stuff we get.
I think I'm taking a plane over to Ukraine. I'm just gonna like pick up someone's gun and be like, "This is mine."
You should go to Ukraine and do a set in that same subway where Bono was at. Hey, look, you know what? I see some of you are dying.
The best would be if Ryan.
What's the deal with Putin?
Ryan does like Pat puts out a hat, does stand up, it's just at the end of it's just full. You're like, where do you guys have all this money from?
His next special's in the subway called "Laughter's the Best Medicine."
You're right. I'm hating the player instead of the game.
Yeah, just show up, man.
I gotta be. You know, when people are getting in line for the government money, I need to be. I need to have like a mustache on.
Exactly.
Look, I'm oppressed, dude.
Ukraine shirt, and then I need to find out how to get behind that. That's Elon Musk doing that.
Take a 23andMe. Find out if you at least have like just 1% like Eastern European, like even if it's just like vague, and then you could be like, I need money.
Yeah,
I came from Canada.
Danny's Ukrainian. He didn't find out how to get his hat under that fucking.
No dice.
No, that sucks.
Russian Ukrainian, though, so it's the bad kind.
Oh no.
Yeah, Azov Battalion.
They call you guys what?
You're one of the Donbass boys.
Yeah, Donbass boys.
You're a daywalker.
Daywalker,
Yeah.
correct. And a Jew. No, the way my parents say it is, we were Jews first, and then Russians, and then Ukrainians. Like they really.
And then your parents.
So I mean,
they're like when they're there though. They're like, there's a real hierarchy, and they're like, well, we're Russians. They're like, no. You're Jews. You're not Russians.
So are you like anything good or?
Nah. I'm white. I'm white if I lie. That's something.
I can take a second quick break here to tell the fellas about Sunday. So, maybe you have a lawn that's not looking so hot. The season's coming around. The summer's coming around. You want to get this thing piping. You want to be, if you're going to be sitting on the lawn yelling at the birds.
All the other dads in the neighborhood are just laughing at you.
They're laughing at you. They say,
guy's fucking Joker's lawn.
Not even a man.
Not a man.
Look at this Danny Polishek. He's not even a man
You
at all.
could be the fucking Alpha Chad dad.
Alpha Chad
of
dad.
the neighborhood.
With a nice man's lawn. So you want to get on Sunday. It's hard to imagine, but spring's almost here. We're close to feeling that soft ground under our feet. But when we need to get our lawn back, thankfully Sunday gets your lawn growing and helps to keep it healthy all season long. Worried about the chemicals you're using to keep your yard looking best? Traditional lawn care lays down 90 million pounds of pesticides every year. Sunday's different. They're on a mission to change how people care for their yards. So most of us might not think about our lawns in the winter, but this is the time to prep for it. You're probably thinking that you have too much to do. You don't want to deal with all that stuff to get it green and healthy. Well, Sunday, what happens is makes it very easy. Gets you a beautiful lawn without the guesswork or nasty chemicals. So what happens is you come and you type in your address, and then it does a custom plan that tells you everything you need to use, and it sells it to you. And then it's a thing that you put on top of the nozzle that you spray on your lawn. So you don't have to do any of that guesswork. It has ingredients like seaweed, iron, molasses, and you can feel good with the kids and pets being around it. Just attach the ready-to-use pouch to your garden hose and spray, and it takes less than 15 minutes, and it really works best of all. So, Sunday is offering our listeners 20% off. The full season plans start at just $129, and you can get 20% off at checkout when you go to getsunday.com. That's SUNDAY, getsunday.com/boyscast. 20% off a custom plan when you go to sunday.com/boyscast. We were kind of saying that yesterday when we were talking about the Elon Musk thing, because whether it's like a hypocrite for him to be like kind of this Mr. like libertarian guy, but also getting all those subsidies. But it was funny being like, The people that give Elon Musk the space subsidies are not the same people that are the Twitter arguments. You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah, of course.
Like those people that are giving Elon Musk his space government people probably hate the fucking other government people. That's two different groups of government people.
Also, the subsidies were there first.
Well, I mean,
I know that's what I was sort of saying too. It's like they were like, hey, if you make these cars,
Hey,
you
please
get
do this, and there are these subsidies. What's he supposed to be like? No.
Well, but here's the thing. I told Ryan yesterday, like, Elon Musk is our space program. Like, we don't
Literally.
There's no American space program anymore. It's Elon Musk.
Wasn't Bezos doing it too?
Well, just because of the fucking
Hey, but at least
dick
it's
measuring competition.
Bezos taking William Shatner to near orbit.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah, we have Elon.
Red Bull took some guys that far too. Like,
Yeah.
We have Elon.
That's the
We have
space
Elon
program
Musk
is
and
Red Bull.
NASA, and NASA's useless now, but at least we're still paying for both. So that's great.
That's the
actually
problem.
awesome.
We're playing for
Does
both.
NASA do nothing?
Yeah, they do.
not.
They're basically like landlords. They rent out their landing pads
Yeah,
to
Cape Canaveral,
SpaceX.
right?
Yeah, exactly. They are
That's what
next
they're
to the
doing now.
landlord.
But he
for Elon
managed to
Musk.
do the whole thing way cheaper than them too. Like
No,
they
no,
lost
no.
their budget, and he was like, he's reusing rockets. They're just like, yeah, we just let him blow up.
Fuck it. We leave them up there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, look, like you're right. I think everybody gets subsidies, and it's look. We've criticized Elon Musk a lot, but I've always said the same thing. Like, but if you could make Twitter like just fair, I'm happy, right? Like, all I want is to be able to joke around because like everyone goes, all these political people getting kicked off the Twitter, and you're like, I know people that got kicked off because they said a stupid fucking joke.
Dude,
Yeah.
we have a buddy, Canada, who's like pretty like Chris Locke, who's like, he's not a political guy at all. He's like very like, fairly left-wing guy.
Right.
Really hilarious guy. But he just did some joke where like, I don't know, he had a big Twitter account and he just like something about, I'm going to kill whatever. And they just banned him.
That's all. That's all you
Really?
do. Yeah.
Just a straight joke, like obviously a joke, not inciting violence. And they just banned him. There's no recourse. And it's just
Yeah, you can't. The kill thing is now like even when you're
can't.
joking, you can't even post. You're going to kill yourself. You're still getting locked.
I
in.
think that might have been what it was.
yeah, no, you
actually.
can't. I got a
Come on.
I got a 24-hour ban on Facebook because one of my friends, because Facebook I use with my family, and one of my friends posted a picture, and all I wrote joking was like, "Ew, girls." That's it. And then 24 hours for harassment. I'm like, for joking and saying...
No, but that's just 'cause they're pussy crushers,
Your
you know what I
exact quote
mean?
was "Girls are gross."
Oh, girls are gross. Sorry. Girls are gross. That's
They
all
said,
I said.
but that's Elon Musk's thing. He said no gay shit on the platform, right?
Yeah, he said he did say it's only for the fellas to hang out on. There's
But
no
he said
chick.
I believe.
Dudes are
I believe
gross,
the
that's
exact
fine.
quote was "Miss me with that gay shit."
He did. That's right.
That was the official Twitter thing to you.
Then it's immediately liked by Joe Rogan. Clink, one like Joe Rogan.
That's you. You'll be like, girls are icky. And they go, fucking miss me that gay shit.
Hell
This is
yeah.
a strike, but you want to come back? We're waiting for you. But
Elon Musk gonna show up at the Oscars wearing a no ma'am shirt. It's just like, what up? Let's go. Oh man.
that was okay, just to finish up that thing. There was one more thing that I had, one more interesting one. The happiness index. See, this is what I wouldn't have thought, is that they said, according to the latest Gallup Share Care Wellbeing Index, most residents said that they were happier with their lives and community in New York State than in Florida, but the difference wasn't that big.
What's the lying to yourself index look like?
Well, I was this to me. I felt like it was
very
going
high.
back. I felt like you're right because they go, hey, we have all these like depressed, non-binary.
I believe the term you guys call it is what? Cope?
Yes,
Cope.
coping and
or seething, I believe.
seething. Is it possible that the fucking unhappy wine moms are bringing up the Florida thing? Like, think about, I bet you your average like pill popping like 60-year-old like Christian mom that's like neurotic, hates her life. Like, I bet you all them said they're depressed.
Maybe.
But okay, but
What's the other
But
explanation?
if everybody in Florida's so fucking sad, then why do New Yorkers keep moving? They're like, this thing I don't
Yeah.
get.
Well, it's
If New-
different. It's
it could-
same
it
as
could
the Elon
just-
Musk thing. It's different people.
Well,
Can
it
I
could
ask-
just be
yeah.
all the liberal people in Florida because it is a swing state. So
Yeah.
there's probably tons of liberals
Swinger
here
state.
who are just swinger state.
Yeah,
that too.
Key West, baby, Key West.
But it's probably
also-
just like all the liberals who are like, "This is hell on earth under DeSantis. I want to kill myself."
Excuse me, they call
And
him they call him Death Santa.
Exactly, right?
Because right wing boomers get a lot of shit, but left wing boomers don't get enough shit. Because left wing
The
boomers
CNN
are,
boomers, I give them shit.
Yeah, they're so cringe too.
Upper West Side CNN boomers.
Yeah.
It's the same people. I was saying this, like, when you see like a group of like 6 like CNN ladies just like ugh, like they just think there's the most condescending like people. You know what I mean?
Somebody who's out there with like a $10,000 scarf walking their designer dog or something. Yeah.
CNN boomers really think they're like better than you, and Fox boomers think that like you're trying to ruin this country.
Of course, yes,
of course, at all times.
And they're like, you don't fucking, if you don't know that I'm standing up for you, and it'll be like. They go, you don't have the info that I have, and it was just like the basic like Fox News commercial.
These colors don't run. I'm like, all right, man, shut up.
I gotta say, I also think the happiness factor. It also depends on what time of day that this like poll was taking place, because they might have just been waking like Floridians up in Tampa like the day after Gasparilla, like 1 in the afternoon.
So you don't believe
and
it.
they're like, how do you feel about your current life right now and its current state? And they were probably
There's
like,
some sort
oh
of
my
factor.
God,
All
I
I'll
don't
say
even
is
know
if
where
you
I
took
am.
that poll and maybe like smoothed it out over a 10-year period, there's no way it comes up in New York.
Well, because
like maybe it was during Trump. Everybody was like,
I was just thinking that like everyone in New York would say they're depressed. I thought it'd be like depressed in New York was like, well, every girl said yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
it's just also harder to live in New York. Just like, you know, unless you're insanely wealthy. It's
Yeah, that's
just,
true.
quality of life's
like
way lower.
You're New York either if you're really rich or really poor. But if you're anywhere in the middle, you're fucked in New York. You know.
yeah.
And then but you think LA's the worst.
LA, no, look.
LA is
There's one thing
I don't like
there's
LA
one thing
that
that New Yorkers and Floridians should all agree on. That LA is the absolute worst. Like,
Dude, if I had to deal with like all the stuff we're talking about, even like the homeless guys and that, and then on top of that, I had to like after I was already annoyed with that, homeless guy bubs me on the subway, and then some girl wants to tell me about fucking like yoga and opening up your mind and shit like that.
Yes.
That would really put me over the edge.
but exactly, exactly. You're like, all right, man, come on. So you're getting screamed at, like, save the environment, while walking over shit and needles. Like, look, don't get me wrong.
I'm walking on actual shit.
I'm walking on actual shit right now. How about fix that? And then
there's shit everywhere here,
And
though.
then and well, I'm
Not,
sure that
not human though.
yeah, but
occasionally human.
But like, there's a lot of human shit basically over there, and then they also have those open injection areas where it's like, oh yeah, drugs are cool here, and you like get a fucking little phone booth, those little personal phone booths where everyone's.
I've never seen
injecting.
that.
We've
Dude,
had
they're-
those in Vancouver for 20 years.
yeah, so
There's somebody fucking shooting heroin right next to the changing table.
like a nurse
in the bathroom, you know, and you're like, geez.
They only have it for those though. They need ones for like weed, where it's just like a hot box booth in the middle of the thing.
with a fucking boombox in it.
I thought that was the whole city.
Just tie dye on the thing.
Tie-
Yeah, they have like
Lava lamp?
Yeah, lava.
Black light in there. Yeah.
It's a safe bong zone.
I'm going to the safe bong zone and smoke one real quick.
It's like the Reefer Cube, like sponsored by Amazon.
Yeah.
You know? It would have to have some kind of corporate, like Chase Bank gives you the reefer room.
That's what they need to fight back.
Like a city bike, but for fucking weed.
Okay,
That'd be
they have
awesome.
the Coke room. They just have
Yeah,
one
it's
room. Just shit for you to punch. Like,
It's just a koala cure. It's a koala cure changing station in the bathroom is the Coke room.
JP Morgan Chase presents the Coke Cube.
I'm just getting there.
It's so dystopian. We're gonna get to that too. Brought to you by Pfizer. The Coke box brought to you by Pfizer.
It just feels like season 3 of Westworld, except everyone's fatter and uglier and more retarded. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it is.
Oh man, we really got the bad future. We need to get the cool future, huh?
Elon's on it.
Are people? Do you think most Florida people are over Trump and DeSantis as the guy? Is that like over? Is that overwhelmingly happening?
So check this out.
We were just talking about because he did his. We were just earlier talking about his Johnson and Johnson guy.
Bro, dude, look.
He basically did the same thing as Stephen Colbert.
Yes, dude, it's hilarious because a lot of people got sick with Trump for a lot of reasons because it's like.
What are the biggest things there?
Well, he hired like so he says, "Oh, like I'm draining the swamp. I'm draining the swamp." So then he hires like one guy who's like John Bolton. You're like, that's not draining the swamp, sir. That's like a
Right.
Bush guy. And then he starts hiring these people around him, and the excuse is like, well, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not whatever. But then it's like tech censorship was another one where he didn't give a shit about people getting kicked off of Twitter till he was kicked off of Twitter. Then it's like it's the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. But I think the other part with him is like he, most people are like, man, this vaccine mandate's bad, and Trump's like, I helped create that. I'm the genius behind that.
That's where he really got on people's
Yeah,
nerves.
'cause
During the second debates, he actually was trying to out like authoritarian Joe Biden and was like, I'm gonna have military flatbeds and I'm gonna be having the vaccine available, and you're like, what the fuck? Like that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
that was
wild.
weird. Like, all right, man, we're getting weird.
And then he pardoned like Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Fuck those guys. But then he pardoned like Kodak Black. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Like, oh, Lil Wayne gets to go out, but Julian Assange is going to die in some prison somewhere. So, but I mean the problem with DeSantis is that people are like, oh, I bet you want him to run. I go, no, honestly, I want him to finish his term in Florida. Maybe he could run in 2028 if he wants. Guy. Because, dude, you know what you realize is like a state governor has more power than the federal government if you use it right
to actually do anything.
Yeah, where people, because that's the truth. Because people
in America, especially because the whole point is that every state is run like a different.
Well, that's good. People were freaking out about the Roe v. Wade thing, and I'm like, well, you know, the states.
Danny was
panicking.
He goes, oh my god,
I just started my own abortion business.
He just got a grant for it.
God damn it, man.
Danny's abortions and hoagies.
Well, I had abortion coin. It's tethered to like the number of abortions.
You're gonna be ruined again. Bad investments by Ryan. You should do a bad investment show.
Oh my god, dude! I don't think I've ever made a good investment.
Oh, there's already one of those, Jim Cramer.
Yeah.
Woo! I hate him, dude. I when I first started trading stuff, I used to listen to his thing, and I just kept losing money. And then every once in a while lately, I'm checking in on this guy, and I go, I don't understand how he has a show. And there are a bunch of people have done hey, if you took all of his advice, you'd be broke.
He's wrong.
Yeah.
But if you can learn to love him.
It's crazy.
Bear Stearns is a stronghold. I mean, like, what?
All he does is once a stock starts doing good, he goes, that one right. He tells you.
Well, it's the classic thing too is with when you're in a bull market, everybody looks like a fucking genius, right? Like everybody looks like a genius because they're all just like, yeah, buy something, and then everything goes up. So of course you look like you're smart and know what you're doing. And then it's when it's like now when it's the actual smart people kind of are.
And it ain't him.
Fuck no.
No,
but also he's not telling you to like short stuff. He just goes, yeah, buy it. And it's the Warren Buffett thing. He's just like, yeah, buy it and talk to me in 10 years. And you go, well, it's down 50% this week. And he goes, talk to me in 10 years. I don't know.
No, but then he tells you to sell it like 3 months later.
Yeah.
I know what he does. This is what he'll do.
If you just learn to use him as a metric and just do the opposite of what he says, you'll actually learn to appreciate him.
Yeah.
He will say things like, Netflix is a buy. You're going to want to get in on this. And then
signal. 3
months later, he'll be like, yeah, you're going to want to sell Netflix, blah, blah. You go, okay, well, it's down 30%. Maybe address the fact
that.
Yeah,
how about help me out that I was wrong? He's wrong about everything.
Oh,
even with the Elon Musk thing, it's like, there's no way, Elon Musk is no way Elon Musk deal. They're going to let it go through. Then the next day, Elon Musk buys Twitter. And you're like, oh, so yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
I guess it's bad being in the prediction business. That's why.
Yeah. Well, the predictions, for the prediction business is not.
But he has wacky sound effects.
He does have wacky sound effects.
That's how he lures you in.
At least the girl, like when girls go to like a fortune teller, they say, I see change somewhere in the next 10 years.
It's vague.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if Jim Cramer said like, the tech sector, I feel like there's some good picks in there, feel it out for yourself. Then you go, I didn't mean that one. He doesn't even have any culpable deniability.
Yeah, that's right. Women, when they go to a fortune teller, they don't have to short their chakra or whatever.
Yeah, they don't say, like, they don't fucking come out like, I'm seeing a guy named Bill Thompson that fucking you're dating. And they go, I'm not dating Bill Thompson. They go, all right, well.
Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah, he ain't doing good.
Well,
I'm surprised.
So Florida wins is what you're saying?
Yeah. Also, I want to throw in more championship teams recently.
For sure, more championship teams. But that makes sense because of the tax thing. You guys have such an edge. Like with
better
hockey.
Weather, better strip clubs, better drugs.
Yeah.
Better gun laws.
Yeah.
We win.
That's all the things.
Yeah.
Is there anything
just
left?
entertainment's like the biggest one, and then opportunity.
I will agree with that.
Like if you
in comedy and stuff, obviously Florida's not New York.
There is sort of. I'll tell you what.
That's the only. Honestly, it's the only thing that keeps me here.
Yeah.
But there's also a mentality. There is like a mentality of people, a lot of, and this isn't your average person, but there is a mentality of a lot of people that like, really, I'm like, I could fucking take over the world. So there's more of a take over the world mentality. And I think in a lot of other places, there's more of a like, yeah, I mean, you got to you want to make $200,000 a year, have a good life. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but everything's
more psychopaths.
I wonder how long that's going to be because like New York isn't though.
Austin's turning into that.
Well, Austin is too, but New York isn't like the Sinatra song. You make it there, you can make it anywhere. Like everything's online now, right?
Yeah,
like pretty much anything you could do with
like
anywhere.
Mr. Beast lives in Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Red Letter Media guys live in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
for sure.
everyone's all over the
Well,
place.
I have a lot of beefs with it, so I'm obviously just taking the side.
I love Florida. I am a Florida man in training.
Florida man in train. He loved it in Florida.
Oh,
yeah. Best, man.
I honestly went there for the first time and I go, this is it.
You know what? I have one question. Okay, I have an article I want to go through, but one thing. Okay, this is like me being stupid, but and maybe I don't know if you know this, but like Bill Maher, fucking every Democrat, like Louis C.K. said this. Everyone was saying the problem with like Republicans right now is they hate democracy. Like you've heard this, right? Like they're against democracy, but I'm like, for the life of me, I'm like, I can't figure out what that means.
It's a talking
point. Is it just the election thing?
Well, it's not just the election thing because the election thing is part of it, but like, you know, they've been using.
What does that mean?
Well, what they're trying to say is that. Like, for example, like they're using the Roe v. Wade thing. It's like Republicans hate democracy, but the Roe v. Wade thing, it's more democracy. Every state gets to vote on.
But yeah, wouldn't that be the argument for all of these?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when they're saying, oh, they disagree with this election. You're like, yeah, and you disagree with the other one. Like you both.
Yeah, that's the point. Hillary didn't believe hers either, and Stacey Adams still thinks she's the governor of fucking of Georgia.
Also, not my president didn't end when Trump left.
No, exactly.
Like they just switched sides, and then all these people are like, "That guy's not my president."
That guy's not my president now.
But it's like it's the number one talking point. Like, okay, when they're like, oh, Republicans are racist or whatever, it's like I think it's stupid as like a generalization, but I also like understand where that's coming from. Like, I really don't get what that means when they're like they hate democracy.
I mean, I think it's just a talking point. I really think it's too.
And it's basically Bill Maher's not stupid.
It's the left wing's version of you hate our troops. Like every time a Republican was like, "Oh, well, we got to go bomb Syrian kids," and we're like, "Well, maybe we don't need to do that." Oh, because you fucking hate our troops.
Right.
Yeah, you want to be fighting them over here instead of fighting them over there, and you're like. I actually like our troops. I'd like them to not step on a fucking landmine.
Are they just talking about January
you know what I mean?
6th?
For no reason, just so that we can get our...
January 6th?
January 6th might be the reason.
Is that the reason? Just because they were trying to...
Yeah, we hate democracy, even though most 99% of people on the right wing were like, yeah, don't go to that.
Yeah, we said that when the January 6th thing happened.
And then a couple hundred people showed up, and they're like, that's all Republicans.
I mean, I'm sure most people who went there, too, stayed outside.
We're FBI agents.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. What's that dude's name?
Dude, for like 3 or 4 months, all we said every day was like, don't go to that. If you're a fan of our show, don't go to that. Take a weekend.
But I think a lot of
go to
people
the beach,
stayed
go to a
outside.
barbecue.
Most people did. The majority.
Most people were going to go. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea that we go in the.
But they made it seem like
they
burned the Capitol down and installed a new president. Like that's not what happened. Yeah. But I think that's probably part of it. But it's just like, dude, think about it. Every election has a catchphrase, right? That you use against the other side. Like, so this one is like, oh, Republicans hate democracy. Republicans hate. Nobody hates democracy, right? I think
this is like the most democratic country in the world, arguably.
Yeah, anarchists don't even, because I talked to a lot of anarchists that are like, yeah, but I want anarchy through big government. I'm like, all right, then you know what anarchy is, bro. Then you don't even know what that is. Shut the fuck up.
Leftists just call every right winger a Nazi, and then every right winger calls every leftist a pedophile. And
then we go round and round.
And there you go. And there you have Twitter. It's called Twitter.
I'm only on Truth Social right now, so I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of being surrounded,
available on Rumble.
It is. Speaking of being surrounded by FBI agents, going to Truth Social, I ain't going to that fucking site. That whole site's a honeypot, and I feel it. Yeah, dude, that whole site, Truth Social's a honeypot. Ray Epps, the real Ray Epps, 1776, ain't gonna get me on there. Fuck you, bro.
That is what the handles.
I'm just getting DMs every day. We need to fucking do something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to do anything.
You want to pull up a federal building, kid?
Yeah, I don't want to do anything.
I came over here because Trump said it was cool.
Who knows where I can get some ammonium nitrate in bulk?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not going to join Boomer Gab. No, thank you.
It's such a honeypot.
Yeah. It is. It's
also
a fucking
the worst
honeypot
app.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So bad.
Don't
go on there once every 2
tread on me
weeks.
_freedom55.
Does anybody know where I can get fertilizer and a watch battery? Man, I don't want to know.
It's a honeypot.
America First Guy 88 wants to know where to get fertilizer.
Oh, shit. Well, they're trying to...
Based Groiper 1488 is hitting me up asking me, where's the hotel? Which hotel we all hanging out? I'm going to need names and phone numbers.
How'd you end up in the pen? I joined Truth Social. Sorry.
I just wanted to see Donald Trump tweeting again, man.
I really thought it was just the fucking guys there.
But it wasn't.
I thought it was just my fellow MAGA man. Hello, fellow MAGAs.
You know when you tweet, it says where the tweet's from? All of them are from Langley, Virginia.
So, yeah, you don't want to be on True Social.
90% of the accounts have one IP address.
Yes, exactly. Wow, all our users are in one office building in Virginia. That's so weird. I'm not going on there. You fucking nuts. I don't trust that for a second.
It's also not good.
No, it's awful.
Even besides that,
Yeah.
it's just not a good app.
So I got one more thing that I decided to do because of the three of you. So
Sure.
it's a Vice article because Vice might be in going down again.
Oh,
They're selling
again?
off all the
Wait,
parts.
again?
Yeah, I did a video about
Oh
it.
my God. This is not going to save them again?
Well, this one they're
Selling a water cooler now.
they're selling off all the parts and stuff like that. So it might become like some of the parts become, Munchies might become a property of fucking, I don't know, something.
They should sell those cool Vice rings that they all have. Have you seen
That's
that?
how they should raise capital by
Yeah.
selling the Vice rings. But they did this article that talking about the stigma that we were talking about before. Why doesn't the porn industry accept big, handsome men? So if you guys, if the three of you were thinking about getting into porn,
I told you it was our time now, boys. No one listen to me. Let's go.
I mean, it's the Victoria's Secret thing, right?
Because-
It's coming.
Because most consumers of porn are men that aren't tall or good looking. Is this really a question they're asking?
And by the way, is there still a porn market? Is people paying for pornography in 2022?
No.
Yeah.
This guy,
OnlyFans.
but there should be this guy.
Yeah.
So
What
it's
do
this
you
big
think?
fat
What do you
guy.
think the most profitable? What are they called? BHMs.
There's
Makes
actually a
on
whole. They actually did a whole list of all the names that they call themselves. So this
Okay.
guy, he's
I'm
a guy.
excited. I'm
well, first of all,
excited.
they start with gay porn, obviously, and then they're like, but why should I have to be relegated to gay porn? You know
That's a
what I
good
mean?
point.
By the way, that's pretty crazy that there's like so many guys who are like, yeah, I'm totally straight in porn. They go, I do gay porn because I just need the money. You go,
I mean, I need money too, but Christ.
but damn. They go, no, but they're like, they so identify as like a real pornography performer where they go, yeah, that's part of the deal.
It's like playing a gay guy in the acting or something.
Yeah.
But there's probably a difference between taking it and getting it. Like, I could see the gay guy that's like just such a
Yeah, it's-
performer. He's like, I'll get head. But there's a big difference between like you're getting fucking.
it's best actor or best supporting actor, I think, is the answer.
Yes,
That's the difference.
between the top and the bottom. It really is going to change how respected you are in the industry.
Yeah, like if you're just like
Right.
a bottom, but you're just really the straightest guy, but on film, you go, that guy's like,
Yeah.
it's fucking Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, and you're just like, why don't we switch? Because he's actually gay.
This
I
guy's
like the challenge.
This guy's a literal sloppy party bottom. I feel he'll do better.
This guy's name is Vinny O'Neill. He said he saw himself becoming a porn performer. He watched a lot of porn. Or he never saw himself. He watched a lot of porn, but he never pictured himself as the male talent. I've always assumed that I don't have the right body or penis for this. So he's got a small dick.
Wait,
too.
or penis? Hold on. This isn't even a fat. Forget. Hold on. This is fucked up. This isn't even a fat guy thing. This is also he has a small penis.
Fat guy, small
Those
dick.
things aren't mutually
no,
exclusive.
he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking Canada's going to be pretty soon being like government grants for porn, probably,
Yeah.
to make more inclusive porn. Like they're going to be creating this bullshit with
I like
some
that.
fund.
I like a bunch of porns, but Somali immigrants. That sounds fun for me.
Yes.
Fat Somali immigrant with fucking tiny dick.
They convert that whole like
Bush.
refugee hotel in Toronto into just a giant porn studio.
What is it? Toronto Radisson East.
Yeah, the
or
Radisson
West?
East.
Yeah, that's just the whole porn studio now. It's a shantytown porn studio.
No, literally. And they said, because that's the image that the mainstream projects. All the male talent are fit with large penises. I love the idea that you fucking, like, the
What
porn's
about Ron
mainstream.
Jeremy? Hold on. That's
Yeah,
not,
I mean,
hold
early-
on.
Biggest porn star of all time.
Grandfathered in though.
Oh, that's true.
But most
No,
porn
that's a good point, though, because he's the most famous porn star of all time. This guy...
But he didn't start as fat. He just went.
yeah,
out
that's
fat.
true.
Well, this
he got
guy's
fat.
like a girl. He thinks he should have everything handed to him. Like, why am I not a famous porn star?
Well, you want everything handed to you, and you want to do porn. Just become trans.
He
Two
should
birds to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
true. He says there's the counterpart BBWs, big breed if you want, but extra large men aren't appreciated for the fans for their girth above the belt.
This guy's got a good rap. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell he really gets chicks.
He sort of took it. It's what he basically took the thing from that the girls were doing. And he's trying to sell it, you know?
Body positivity. Yeah.
Vice is a news site. I love this.
It's great stuff, yeah. big handsome men. So this is what they're called. But
That's what I'm getting called myself from now on. You better fucking believe it.
BHM, that's the big term.
BHM boys.
Yo, where the big handsome men at?
So they're the straight side of bears and chubs, because chubs and bears imply you're gay, but a BHM's not, you're straight. So if someone calls you a bear, you go, what the fuck do you call me? I'm a BHM.
Hey, excuse me, I ain't no bear. I'm a BHM.
Yeah. Two categories of talent that exist within the gay porn world. In the past, BHM. So this is the ones that they have for all of them.
Okay.
They say super size. So if you go, I'm super size, you put
Big
that on your
boy.
profile.
Okay.
Teen BHM. So that's
No, we aged out. We aged out. We can't be in that.
Do you think you could shave off the white out of the beard and be a teen BHM?
Teen BHM? Probably. Probably.
That's so funny.
You look like a teen in Degrassi where they're
Isn't
all
that
30.
so funny though?
Yeah.
Like being a guy that's like, you're looking up, you're basically like some 50-year-old man. You're just like looking up like teen guys, but you're like, what about a fat teen gay?
But
Very niche.
no, but this means not gay though, right?
Well, this guy thinks it should be mainstream. Why are a fat teen
Yeah.
porn gay man? So you're just some fat. You're basically like a fat little meatball 19-year-old. Like, why can't you be famous porn star?
All the porn stars look like Andy Milonakis.
The penguin.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one. Polar bear. So a polar bear is a little thinner than an actual bear, they say.
I thought that would just be an albino.
I think Danny's like a polar
I'd be a
bear, and
polar
you're an
yeah,
actual bear.
yeah, I'm a bear. You're a polar bear for sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Would you?
Polar bear is way better than BH. I don't like the acronym.
Yeah,
You don't like BHM. That sort of rubbed you the wrong way.
I don't like that.
It just doesn't- it's just not
I don't
good.
like being described in
Bear's way
acronyms because they're
sicker
almost
than-
always being used to insult you. So it's like,
Handsome's the way that your mom describes you. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
so handsome.
You're handsome.
Yeah. I prefer bear.
Or you can put down a woman by calling her handsome.
yeah, nice
Oh,
handsome
yeah.
woman.
What a handsome
You're
woman.
very handsome. Yeah.
You're a handsome female swimmer.
Chubbies, gainers. So that's
What are those? What are gainers?
gainers is because you're gaining weight, I guess.
Oh, okay. So like, like
Packing
women are
on
called
mass.
feeders.
Feeders,
Women
yeah.
are like
Feeders
feeders.
have men too.
Okay,
Zach Amico, who
Oh.
you're doing his thing tomorrow. He said that he would get messages from people being like, "Yo, I'll pay you to watch you eat."
Oh God! And there's people are serious about that. Like people are really into that shit.
That's a wild one.
Yeah.
Wait, people could pay me to eat?
Yeah,
That is
so-
yeah.
yeah. There's people like.
Do you have
know-
to eat like? Do you get to choose? What
Can
you
I?
eat?
Yeah. Can it be at a fancy
Oh.
restaurant and you're sitting at a different table?
It's fucking eating at Peter Luger's.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get 2 steaks, please.
Thank you.
Like they do realize there's like food challenge YouTube videos. Like there's entire
Right.
Like there's entire channels
epic
dedicated
meal
to
time.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Jerking
Go down
off
the
to
list.
epic mealtime.
Yeah, really. They already make this.
It's
well,
free,
I
you
think
know?
they need you to be your shirt's got to be off and stuff like that.
Oh,
Probably.
okay.
Belly builders, feeders, foodies, and gluttons. So they're trying to make foodies a porn
Foodies and
category too.
What's foodies?
He says, in the past, BHMs and large men in porn in general have often been the butt of the joke, kind of what's happening right now,
Right,
right?
of course.
And the gimmick is, the Minions gimmick is letting beautiful women smear food all over him in search of tube sites for fat men and variants. And so a lot of them is so the only fat guys that have been getting into the game is like you'd get in there and they take your stuff off and a bunch of girls would put a pie
Oh, okay.
and
All
buy
right.
you.
Right. So they just smear me with food.
There's a humiliation element.
But it's
to it.
women, so that's
Cake
not
is fair.
bad.
But I think I
That's
get
not that bad.
Also, there is this
Hold on,
element.
do I get to pick the food? Hold on, it's a question though.
Right.
Do I get to pick the
Do
food?
I get? Is it lemon meringue all the time, or can I say a cherry?
I don't want to be smeared with ghost peppers. You know what I mean?
Well, I imagine there's sex afterwards, so they can't get too.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
No, that guy they
Sex-friendly
tie up
foods.
and you watch as the
You
sex.
watch this. You watch this.
Oh, so-
In the corner of that same Peter Luger's where you're eating your 2 steaks.
That guy comes and finishes your steak and fucks the girls.
Yeah, there's
cuckoldry.
definitely sex later with the producer.
And not by choice in many cases.
In a fucking bottle section of a VIP club.
This is the funniest part is this guy being like, there's nothing gay about it. You go like, there's one fucking straight woman watching porn of 400-pound making a pie thrown on him.
It's not gay, bro. It's just a room full of dudes watching you get humiliated by a 5.
What is he doing? They're talking about it. They go, this is actually for straight people. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
What if you're in like clown college and you're just trying to learn how to properly throw a pie, and it's the only place you know to find those
Look,
videos?
I'm doing this to pay my way through clown college.
Look, I can't learn from Krusty the Clown. That's a cartoon. I gotta watch somebody and see how the wrist balances the pie.
Oh fuck.
Well, there's one more really funny thing he says. Other than a lack of mainstream recognition, he said his biggest challenge as a 6'4" tall, 450-pound performer is the sturdiness on set. Namely, he's had problems breaking the bed when a scene gets really intense.
Like a bed frame?
Smash the bed.
You should be fucking.
I mean, that girl's not light either.
Oh,
That's what Vice leaves out.
They don't tell you. They don't want to insult the woman. They don't want to
insult the women, so they just leave that for you to figure out. But you're like, she's his weight.
Now it's Ashley Home Furniture Store's fault, right? Not like fucking. Maybe you should be banging people in a fucking WWE ring. You know, that way it's nice and sturdy.
He was trying to work the Murphy bed. Now
it breaks to the floor and just starts spinning around.
But this is what we're telling you. We're saying earlier, where it's like the girls have been more successful at being like, you should like this, and some guys are like, yeah, I mean, there's like some creep for everything, so then they can be like, look, there's actually a market. But you're like, no, dudes are just fucking creepy perverts.
That's the problem.
Maybe there's no girl version of that where you go, hey, ladies, you should like a 500-pound guy getting fucking pies thrown on him, and they're like, we don't.
Yeah, sorry.
That's not something.
I thought we were going to a nice like martini bar and just you were gonna pay for my shit.
Kevin Samuels would need to give this guy a talking to. That actually needs to happen.
May he rest in peace.
Rest in power.
Rest in power, bro.
Rest in power,
Rest in
Kang.
power.
There is some pretty good memes of that stuff where it's like Kevin Samuels in heaven realizing it's all fucking gross bitches.
You know who's that way too? Sotomayor. Have you seen him?
Tommy
Justice?
Sotomayor. No, Tommy Sotomayor.
I thought you meant like Supreme Court.
No.
That guy's a
Tommy
lunatic.
Sotomayor is kind of the same thing.
He's now the spiritual
Did
successor.
you see the
Like,
Cobra Tate thing?
Tommy Sotomayor is the kind of guy, basically, if we're going to have a peaceful transition of power now with the power vacuum and Kevin Samuels' wake, then Tommy Sotomayor is the obvious one.
he
for
black?
people at the
Yeah,
back.
yeah, he's a black guy who does the same thing. Who like
He's like
tells
Stannis
women, like-
Baratheon.
I guess
He's like
Samuels got popular. There's probably a few of them.
Yeah.
He's like Stannis Baratheon. He's like the true rightful king. You know what I mean? Like, they need to crown him.
What's his thing? Same deal?
Same
Yeah,
thing. Like
pretty
so
much.
he tells women, you know,
He's a little more hood,
He was
but-
on like the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I don't. Oh, wait. Is he like light skin?
No, he's dark skinned.
Oh.
He was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and there was like, you know, the Fresh and Fit podcast is just them, you know, with a bunch of different strippers and dudes.
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah. I don't
talking
know how they get the girls to keep coming back.
money.
Yeah.
they
Oh, they pay them?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, they pay them.
They're whores.
No, they're
Yeah, they're
literally.
whores.
That's not even a joke. Some of them are literally hookers.
Oh, so we'll give you $100 if you come and let this guy
just go-
berate you.
Yeah, I mean, if you make enough money, why not?
I didn't realize that.
I mean, some guys are getting fucking pied in the face by some 400-pound chick.
Yeah, I'm telling you, market for everything.
Yeah, women will do anything for $200 and some Instagram followers.
I was honestly thinking that. I was like, how do these guys keep getting women to call in and be like, I'm going to give Kevin Samuels a piece of my mind?
Well, because
like,
they in their own heads, when they're having like the argument with the shampoo bottles, they're like, "Oh, I would tell him this, and I would tell him to go fuck himself." And you're like, "No, you're not."
I ain't fucking no Kevin Samuels tell me shit.
Yeah, fucking nothing.
I actually am shit. So fucking, maybe you ain't so great, Kevin Samuels.
Exactly.
And then so I saw there's a new guy that's really popping off on TikTok.
The bald guy, Cobra Tate.
Is that
He just got arrested
yeah.
for sex trafficking.
Cobra Tate got his
So
jinx.
he's a dweeb.
He's awful, but it's just
so his whole thing was
hilarious.
he's like, I went to Romania because they have like the laxest sex trafficking laws or whatever.
So he loves prostitutes.
So no, because he
That's
started.
a terrible way. That's
Doing,
a terrible way to start a conversation.
It's crazy because he was talking about this. He started coming up in my feed too. So I guess, and then he was talking about this, and I'm like, he's like really admitting borderline to some crimes here. He's like, I had all these girls that I was dating. He's like, I had 5 girlfriends. I flew them all to Romania.
That's the guy.
Right? Yeah. And he goes,
That's
and
the guy.
he goes, we're making, we're doing fucking camming and all this sex. He's like, 3 of them left, 2 of them stayed, and that's why I made all my money. And then literally last week he got arrested for fucking sex trafficking in Romania.
You know, we probably would have got away with it if he wasn't fucking bragging about it.
But that's what I'm
too.
saying. He made it his brand of like, this is all the shit I do. He's like, I'm blah blah. I make all this money. Like I'm this rich dude. Like really,
He's
like
a pimp.
Yeah, he's a pimp.
Well, there's a lot of dudes like that. Like
and he was like, I could be a pimp in Romania. It's like a
That is
literal
the attitude of a pimp. Like, yeah,
he's
his
the
attitude
most
is
garbage
a pimp.
person ever. He's the
yeah.
worst.
But he got literally like last week arrested.
There's a whole genre though. Like, there's other guy named like David Bond that we cover with. It's not his real name, obviously, but he's one of those like crypto bros who travels to countries and always with like these hot chicks, but they're clearly hookers.
He travels to places that have
Right,
crazy
it's just-
exchange
But
rates.
he,
Pay for play.
but he
Yeah.
lies. He doesn't say they're hookers, and he makes dudes think that like you could achieve these hot women too if you read my motivational book. And I'm like, dude, these are clearly hookers.
motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
And he gets these like Airbnbs, but in like Honduras, where it's like $300 a night, but it looks like a fucking palace. You know what I mean? And he's like, you too can have this life. It's like, well, yeah, if I have like enough Bitcoin Cash and I'm going to Honduras, I guess. But normal guys aren't going to like go to third world nations and take advantage of a power dynamic. You know, because that's what they're doing. You're going there and you're like, oh, who wants a US dollar, huh? Like, it's basically rape. It's like financial exploitation.
But the fact is, like, he's like, yeah, I moved to Romania for these lack of laws, and then still got arrested. So you're like, you must have done some fucking
bad
shit.
must it have been?
Yeah.
Did he have like an entire webcam compound like Sons of Anarchy? Or
Yeah, I don't know. He did something crazy, yeah.
In Romania, that's fine as long as you let him out of the container on the container ship once a day. Just let him have one cigarette. Let him have one cigarette and get right back in the container ship.
One cigarette and a can of tuna. Now back in the container ship with you.
So yeah, that guy, because that guy, I think he went on Segura's podcast.
He did go on Segura's podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, that guy, all those guys would be like sick to have on a podcast.
Yeah,
They're
no, they would. You gotta admit.
First of all, you go, he's gonna say 12 things that are gonna go viral. Like the hot takes that they have are like, I don't think women should be allowed out of the house, and they just like real hot takes.
Yeah.
Every man should be able to have 12 wives minimum, and that's just Tuesday.
Yeah, and then he's also like, he's got all these nice cars, so people.
A Rolex, yeah, exactly.
All the stuff. So you're
How's
like,
that
okay.
guy rich? Just from pimping?
From this pimping stuff. He said that's how he made his money. It was
Being a
from
pimp.
basically being like a cam girl, like pimp, I guess.
Oh, he's a cam girl pimp.
or maybe real. I don't know. He obviously crossed some sort of
by the way,
line.
I'm really glad we have cam girl pimps because it's so hard for women to just go, let me turn my webcam on.
Honest to God.
Do we really need a middleman for webcam people?
Literally
now?
IT guy.
I know, exactly.
You're just an IT guy.
No, but I think what happens is you probably have some place where you have like cubicles essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%.
They've got 80 girls lined up as cubicles, and he goes, "You fucking masturbate."
Yeah.
Hey,
These girls got into this lifestyle to not have a cubicle job, only to have a fucking.
They're
cubicle
both standing
job.
around with their tops off around the water cooler talking about the big game. Hey, you watch that game now? Yeah, it was great.
And say,
Becky, do me a favor. You're checking your Facebook a little bit too much, okay? I mean, we got to stay on the clock here.
Yeah, just look at your progress reports. That dildo only went 80% in. Just like to see it at 90 next time. Nothing, no big deal. Just thought we'd have a little chat. But if we could get that up to 90% in, we'll chat again next week.
And make sure when you squirt, you put a mat down. I'm really sick of cleaning it. Thank you.
Listen, Heather, you were late twice this quarter, and third time. Yeah, send it to HR. So I'm just letting you know.
You got to have those periods because we put you on.
We put you on.
We do check the times on the key fobs to make sure you're coming in on time.
And yeah, when Homer Simpson was like, "Hey, are you guys working hard? You mind working harder?" The guy goes, "Hey, everyone, masturbating?
Yeah.
Think you can flick the bean a little harder?"
Sure, boss.
Sure, boss.
Let's go.
They all
Turn the setting up on the Hitachi. Just
yeah.
And then all you hear some cartoon music. Ba, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-ba. This place is great.
There's that banner from Office Space. Ask yourself what you can do for the company. Just hanging on the wall.
And one of the girls does like Flintstones. It's a living.
Listen, ladies, Friday is casual Friday, so if you want to flick your bean in a Hawaiian shirt,
that's great.
Feel free. You know the deal.
Shit. There's one girl doing like an asphyxiation thing with a hang in there sign.
A fucking Kathy cartoon.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
respect. All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
That's fun, man.
Tell everyone where to find you and shit.
YouTube, Revenge of the Sis, Patreon.com/We're Not Sorry. I mean, you're already signed up for there, so I mean, you know what I mean. Now you're on the site, handing over your card anyway. So come on over to us anyway. Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, and then we do our own shows, Daywave and Nightwave.
Yeah, you guys stream more. I guess there's probably other people, but like the 20 hours of streaming a day would I don't even know how you do it.
Yeah, you guys are very online.
That's why anytime anyone like gets mad at people that stream for 40 hours a day, they're like, about, hey, these guys are saying offensive stuff. I'm like, if I was doing this, I'd be like, if I was streaming 20 hours a day, by week 3, I'd be like, N-word.
I got nothing. I gotta say it.
You go, how could you not start a fight with everyone?
By hour 30, he's reading Mein Kampf on the air. I need a content man. I don't know, bro.
Do you think I wanted to do this?
I'm only doing this for historical reference.
Either of you guys been doxxed recently?
No,
always, all the time.
24 hours a day.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
They have a 24-hour armed guard.
I have an AK now, so I'm not really worried about it.
Florida,
baby. We're our own security.
Anytime a streamer is like trying to start a fight with you, it's like they can't, like they are filling 4 hours of content a day, and you have shit. If you have shit to do, like they do not.
Oh, cool! Thank you for the first hour of my show.
yeah. And so, anyways, okay. Fellas, hopefully I'll see some of you in San Diego this weekend. And anything else to promote? Low Valley Mail Podcast, RyanLongStore.com. Peace.
We gonna live forever.